Karl Keaton, now known as Fresh Cut Slim, though still better known as CHARMX, is a Canadian reaction content creator, musician, and animator with a following of nearly 1 million subscribers. After the long-awaited return since Karl's departure from all social media back in late March 2021, I think it's finally time to go back throughout the years once more, seeing where Karl started his journey to how he became what he is today. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, this is my long-awaited sequel and remake to my most popular video. Welcome to the history of Fresh Cut Slim. Before we begin the history, of course, I would like to mention the information that I've gathered came from all over the internet, including my original history of CHARMX video, along with Wikitubia, Social Blade, The Wayback Machine, Reddit, and so on. Some dates may not be exact due to altering time zones, so please don't go full on military sergeant on my horizontally challenged hindquarters if I do get the dates slightly off. But on a more serious note, there will be sensitive topics that will be discussed within the history, such as depression and suicide. If you're uncomfortable with these topics, there will be a warning displayed on screen, letting you know when these topics will be discussed before a countdown will appear showing how long I'll be talking about the subject for until we're in the clear. Thanks for understanding, you've been warned. But without any further ado, let's begin the history. It all began a long time ago in a place far away, at least from my birthplace, when a young boy named Karl Keaton, originally thought to be Karl Cloutier for some reason, was born and raised in the city of Ontario, Canada since the 30th of September 1994. Judging by the Canadian school system, we can safely suggest he began elementary school sometime during the beginning of the new millennium. Later on, he'd begin attending middle school in the mid-late 2000s before finally attending high school around roughly 2009. However, it was during the year prior, when he was in grade 8, that he would discover the wonderful world of YouTube. Before discovering this wonderful world, he was mentally in a very dark place due to everyone's least favourite friend, depression, even setting a date in which to commit uninstall, shall we say. Luckily, he didn't go ahead with that plan and proceeded to begin his YouTube journey instead. Phew. He would also discover his own religion, in which he would in fact become a Christian. For the next several years, Karl would proceed to create roughly 20-ish separate channels in which we know very little information about. He has practically done all sorts of content, besides makeup tutorials for obvious reasons, according to what Karl said in his Q&A video back in late 2019 after surpassing 800,000 subscribers. Again. I'll explain later. Despite becoming a graduate, Karl proceeded to never disclose from the education institute he graduated from. Happy birthday, Karl! As of the 30th of September 2012, it is officially your 18th birthday. Out of the many channels Karl would create before CHARMX, there weren't really any of them that we know of. Except for one channel. Created on the 31st of March 2013, The Critical Bastard, also known to be called Duo Ting, is currently the oldest channel that we know of that was made by our Beanie Boy.
What is up, my friends and family?
The channel description follows. I'm a bit of a critical bastard who makes funny videos guaranteed to tickle your laugh hole. Subscribe to join the insanity. This was then followed by a link to his Twitter, created later that same year. It went by the name of Papa Memes, also known as Jeff. It seems this channel was never used before CHARMX Games, as he referred to it as a new channel when he did start using it in 2016. My theory being, this was just an account that he made and had lying around being unused, but then decided to rebrand it to The Critical Bastard when it was time. But wait, we're not supposed to be in 2016 yet, so let's take a little break and go back to the good old days when he created the channel that started it all. On a fine Sunday morning during the 27th of April 2014, Karl would wake up that day and choose to begin a journey that he had no idea would become one of the greatest decisions he'd ever make. He created a YouTube channel in which he would call it CHARMX Games. As you can tell by the name, Karl originally planned to upload gaming content instead of the reactions you may be used to.
Nah, you don't say!
Shut up! Soon after the creation of the account, Karl would upload his very first video simply titled, My First Video. Pretty self-explanatory. Wow, so creative! You know what? Come here! Come here! The duration was about 2 minutes 40 seconds, and it's estimated that it may have been uploaded between the 30th of April to the 4th of May. Though if I were to take a wild guess, I'd probably say May 2nd. A forum post was discovered of a small conversation that occurred in August 2015 that gave some information regarding the channel's first video. From what was being said, we know a small sliver of what his first ever introduction to the channel was like. What was also mentioned is that Karl had used his classic outro song from day one, the song I'm referring to of course being Hey Mammy Silvanesso, which was released on the 30th of April 2014 on YouTube, or the previous day on SoundCloud, meaning his first video not only came out after this date, but that the song was brand new when he first started using it. I'm guessing when he was searching for non-copyrighted music to end his video off, this track may have been one of the first to show up since it had only just been released, then liked it so much that he would use it for the years to come. Following that video would be a consistent upload schedule of gaming content, in which these games included probably Archery, Happy Wheels, Surgeon Simulator, Rogue Shooter, Turbo Dismount, Outlast, Octodad Deadliest Catch, Goat Simulator, Battleblock Theatre, Watch Dogs, Outlast Whistleblower, Charles Fusion, Among the Sleep, The Forest, Lifeless Planet, The Very Organized Thief, Nightmare Tower, and Slenty Tubbies 2, along with all these games later on. Anyway, captured on the 6th of May 2014, the very first screenshot of CHARMX that can be found on the Wayback Machine would be his very first episode of Happy Wheels and his third video ever, uploaded only a day prior to the screenshot. He had a whopping 35 subscribers and had just 4 uploaded videos. This was then followed by a capture of his second episode of Happy Wheels, uploaded on the same day as the screenshot was saved, gaining another 17 subscribers in just 4 days. Dang. A channel by the name of Just Nate Massad would upload a video asking people to check out CHARMX's channel because, in his words,
is an amazing guy. His name is CHARMX.
He also mentioned CHARMX Games only had 57 subscribers at the time, which makes him truly an OG fan. It was also during May 2014 that CHARMX Games would reach its first ever milestone of 100 subscribers, in which Karl would make a video thanking everyone for subscribing. In fact, during his first month on the channel, he had gained roughly 282 subscribers. Not too shabby. Karl would create his Twitter account at CHARMX Games, which would later change to at CHARMX Official. He wouldn't make his first tweet in a little while, so stay tuned for that. The very next day, we can assume, is when this OG CHARMX banner was created, due to that exact date being shown when downloading the image. How brilliant of them to add that. Definitely appreciate it. Yet another old screenshot was taken of one of his videos during the time, and already at 461 subscribers? My golly holy moly. Just Nate Massad would upload another vlog, this time mentioning that CHARMX Games had just surpassed 500 subscribers.
It's a CHARMX. And he just reached 500 subscribers, go check him out.
And yes, Karl would make a celebration video for this excellent achievement. To my complete surprise, I managed to stumble upon a playlist containing the first 80 videos that CHARMX Games would ever upload, excluding his last video that we'll discuss shortly. Karl would create a new channel by the name of xuperanimate, a channel that has since been long forgotten. On the 13th of July, only 2.5 months after he'd begun his journey, Karl would decide to call it quits, and wow, not the greatest like to dislike ratio, shall we say. The reason as to why he chose to temporarily pause his content creation on the main channel was thankfully explained in the description. This is what's been said. This is my last video. Please watch this video to know why. I love entertaining you guys, and I'm sorry this had to happen. When I make videos on YouTube, I always expected to make it as a career. Then when it doesn't happen, I get depressed and become suicidal. I can't take this shit any longer. Followed by a link to his new channel that I just briefly mentioned. See, you already forgot about it, didn't ya? The earliest screenshot of the CHARMX Games homepage that you can view right now was captured merely months after the channel's creation. He had now only 493 subscribers, due to losing many after he temporarily quit the account. Clicking on his Google Plus link would only take you to a blank page, but with a little tinkering we can reveal its hidden mysteries. It actually shows quite a bit, but his most recent post is what piques my interest. Now of course a lot of what is being said has already been mentioned in his video description, but it goes into a tad bit more detail. He mentions that the channel costs him too much money to run and that he believes that he'll never mean anything on YouTube. Oh Karl, little did you know, little did you know. After the long break, uploading videos only on Xuperanimate during that time, Karl would eventually return to the main channel so he could continue creating content on CHARMX games once more. Following his return would be his first gaming video back, in which he would share on Twitter, which just so happens to be his first ever tweet. His following tweets would be links to more gaming videos uploaded soon after. This would lead the CHARMX Games channel to become evil, as its new milestone would become 666 subscribers. Well, this aged like fine milk on a hot summer's day. Karl would sometimes help other small creators with their own content as well. For example, he would make an intro for a channel by the name of Folks. Or when he would collaborate with a friend by the name of the Chaucer Gaming, someone he's collabed with in the past. Karl would post some rather interesting tweets, to say the least. Let's move on. A collab with the Chaucer Gaming would happen once again, less than 2 weeks after their first collaboration. Turns out, it wouldn't be the first time he'd helped this particular creator with their intros, as nearly a month and a half after giving a hand previously, he'd voice over the warning disclaimer during the first few seconds of the video.
Please note, the following video is purely meant for entertainment purposes only. We do not commend any form of bullying or harassment.
Yet again, CHARMX and Chaucer would collab for the third time, all 3 times of which being gameplay of Gary's mod. Karl would achieve his first major milestone of 1,000 subscribers, which was soon followed by a Q&A video to celebrate this glorious achievement. As we inch closer to the end of 2014, 3 free games with CHARMX would become a thing. For like 1 episode. A fan would make him this, which is pretty cool. Did you know he made animations? Okay, I did say in the intro he was an animator, and he does animate some of his music videos, but I'm talking about full-on cartoon animations during 2014. This capture may also show that he reached a milestone of 1,500 subscribers on the day of the screenshot. Towards the end of 2014, Karl would attempt to spice up his content to keep it interesting. Thus, he would release his first ever reaction. This is so messed up! Reacting to Squidward's, committing uninstall. This was truly the birth of the CHARMX we all know. The beginning of his transition from gaming-focused into reaction-focused content. The gaming era of the CHARMX Games channel would slowly fall victim to its successor, the reaction era, baby! Karl would also end up getting into a car accident during this time. Well, that sure as hell isn't the best way to start off this chapter. It sure did spice it up though. The oldest capture of CHARMX's earliest reaction that was saved was his reaction to YTP, Billy Mays, and the Ravages of Orange Glow.
Then you've gotta suck Billy Mays' cock!
Just use a mop.
Uploaded a few days before Christmas of 2014. The final capture that took place in 2014 would be his 6th episode of Happy Wheels. Starting 2015 off strong, he'd proceed to reach the next big milestone of 2,000 subscribers on my birthday. Oh, how delightful. During this transition period, he'd make another animation, Markiplier animated Slenderman's Greatest Fear. Now at a whopping 2,500 subscribers, he'd make yet another Q&A video. Karl would slowly begin uploading more reactions than gaming by this point. So what did he do? He'd create a new channel specifically for gaming by the name of CHARMX Plays. The very next day, Karl would... Karl, are you alright? The very next day, Karl would upload a video talking about how his viewership has depleted and that it was making him feel down, especially with his depression. He also mentioned that he would start a podcast with some friends and that he would upgrade from a Snowball mic to a Blue Yeti mic. The same one, in fact, that I've been using to record this entire video with. That's right, I upgraded my mic since the original History of CHARMX video. Can't say nothing now, suckers! Ha ha ha! Karl would then collaborate with another creator by the name of Gaming with Von, 2 days before smashing 3,000 subscribers. It has now been exactly 1 year since the CHARMX Games channel was given birth through the womb of Karl's fingertips. That's one way to put it. Didn't do too bad for his first year on YouTube, you gotta admit. Here's a photo of Karl's rig back in the day. A little over a month since his previous milestone, 4,000 people had subscribed to the Beanie Boy. Oh, you thought that was fast? Well, it only took 6 days to demolish 5,000 subscribers. Then another 6 days for 6,000! As you could tell, he wasn't slowing down in the mere slightest. Speaking of birthing from just before, Karl would create the CHARMX Games backup channel. The reason for doing so would be that he had been getting so many requests for videos to react to by this point that he wanted to split the amount of content into 2 separate channels. Thus, CHARMX 2 was born, though it wouldn't be renamed to that for the rest of the year. A few milestones go by and we end up on this beautiful capture in which holds probably the earliest screenshot that reveals the classic animated CHARMX intro clip. And it wouldn't be much longer before CHARMX Games would achieve the grand milestone of 10,000 subscribers, followed by yet another Q&A video uploaded on Independence Day. It may have taken him a week to release the celebration video, but it wouldn't be the longest period of time between milestone and video, and you'll see what I mean later, don't you worry. Karl's reaction content was beginning to blow up, gaining more and more subscribers every single day. As Karl was getting ready for his milestone of 20,000 subscribers, instead of the usual Q&A video, he would record a challenge to celebrate. What would be that challenge, you may ask? Why, it was the Cinnamon Challenge, of course! This may be the only surviving clip left from this video, so please enjoy! However, he would return to the usual Q&A for 30,000 subscribers. 40,000 subscribers! He's apparently done shoutouts before. That's interesting, right? During this capture, CHARMX Games was at 44,443 subscribers! You were one off a perfect number, dang it! Here, let me fix that real quick. There we go. This video was so new, in fact, that it hadn't even been released yet. How does that even work? Who found this video to begin with? Guess we shall never know. Happy birthday again! This time you've just turned 21 and still living in your parents' basement. Yeah! CHARMX Games would be now more than 50,000 subscribers. Following this accomplishment, the r/CHARMX subreddit was born, along with a 50,000 subscriber special announcement that we'll get to in just a second. Bet you didn't know Karl had a Photoshop channel as well? What? Going by the name of Hugh or Animations, this would be the place to share his weird Photoshop edits, such as this one, and this one. Beautiful works of art, shall we say. An absolute masterpiece. Back to the 50k sub special, he bought something special for this occasion, but it wouldn't show up for about a week, so yeah. Very late special indeed. Around the time when the channel crossed over 60,000 subscribers, Karl would upload his iconic Bean Boozled challenge, but this clip is what would make it truly memorable. Warning, it's a bit disgusting.
Holy crap! I actually threw up!
Karl would always look back fondly at this very moment, as the sound he made when he threw up makes him laugh every single time. Ah, the good old days. Remember gaming with Von? Well, Karl had commissioned them to create a shirt design in which they made him this. Now this is what I call a masterpiece. A chef's kiss. Mwah. His first video to gain over 1 million views would be this bad boy. His reaction to Fazbear and Friends. Foxy gets naughty. Speaking of naughty. As the CHARMX Games channel continues to grow rapidly, Karl would achieve one of the biggest milestones yet. Right before the end of the year, CHARMX Games would absolutely demolish that grand milestone of 100,000 subscribers. An achievement that not many people can say they achieved. Would Karl make a video to celebrate? Of course he would. Would the celebration be anything other than a Q&A again? Guess you'll have to wait and see. The answer is yes. Anyway, we get to send off 2015 with this absolutely blessed photo of Karl's dog Coda, and oh, she's so friggin' adorable! Happy New Year, family members! Welcome to one of the most eventful years of Karl's journey. For his 100,000 subscriber special, he'd finally upload his Draw My Life video on the same day he hit 150,000 subscribers, which shows how fast his channel was growing during this period. It was pretty friggin' fast. Fast as frick, boy! And it wouldn't be long before CHARMX Games would absolutely obliterate that 200,000 subscribers barrier, making a, you guessed it, another Q&A video. So guys, Karl did it. He reached 250,000 subscribers. Wanna see another cute photo of Karl's dog Coda? Well, here she is, and oh my lord! I just want to give you pets and belly rubs. If you couldn't tell already, I am definitely a dog person. 300,000 subscribers would have been transformed into dust after CHARMX Games was done with it. Have I gone too far with this yet? Big butts, hey? You know what else I like? big balls. Guess which channel had finally decided to show thyself? Oh yeah, Karl had finally brought the Critical Bastard to life, and it wouldn't be long before he'd upload his first video on the channel.
If we could hit 5 likes, that would be amazing. I'll sacrifice a goat if we hit that many likes.
Despite Karl seeing these videos as reactions, the content was far different from the usual reactions you'd be used to. They were more about finding absolutely absurd topics such as drinking paint or leaving your husband for rats than making commentary over the weird nonsense that played throughout the video. CHARMX Games peaked at a total of almost 325,000 subscribers shortly before... oh dear. What the freak happened? Well, unfortunately, the channel would receive a second copyright strike in which Karl would act by purging the entire channel of its content, followed by posting a video explaining what was going on.
Because my main channel, CHARMX, has gotten its second copyright strike. I really don't want to risk getting a third one, which is kind of inevitable. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to be deleting all of the videos off of CHARMX, and I'm going to start uploading videos that I would upload to this channel onto CHARMX 2, which is my backup channel.
The channel wasn't entirely done for, however, as he mentioned the possibility of uploading vlogs, reaction highlights, and or returning to his oldish ways of releasing new gaming content, which would soon follow the return of Happy Wheels, before more gaming content would populate the main channel once more, while continuing reactions on the backup channel. He'd even begun a new series with Undertale. Despite his best efforts to avoid the channel from receiving a third strike, being the smartest guy YouTube ever met by keeping his videos private, unfortunately he was still too stupid to see. YouTube made up its mind 10 minutes ago. That's right, I made a Breaking Bad reference, what are you gonna do about it? And thus, the CHARMX Games channel that we once knew was permanently terminated, never to be seen in its true glory again. Karl would announce the end of his main channel CHARMX Games, his gaming channel CHARMX Plays, and his Photoshop channel HuHu, as he received a third strike on the account and lost everything. Luckily, he would continue uploading on CHARMX 2, The Critical Bastard, and a new channel made merely days prior that we'll talk about in just a bit. This was truly a farewell to the gaming era once and for all. Since we did skip a few months between the end of CHARMX Games and the end of CHARMX Games, let me give you a quick skim of everything that happened in between. Getting some milestones out of the way, 100,000 subscribers for CHARMX 2, 15,000 subscribers for The Critical Bastard, and 1,000 followers for @CHARMXOfficial on Twitter. Now that we got that out the way, The Critical Bastard would finally use its own Twitter account @PapaMemes. He says that it's been just created, but we all know he had it sitting around for a little while. He'd then post his first tweet on the account, followed by many after. CHARMX reacts to CHARMX reacts to CHARMX reacts to CHARMX reacts to CHARMX. Because CHARMX 2 was the main channel by this point, everyone had now pushed the channel past 200,000 subscribers. Karl was thinking of shaving his head bald due to his hairline, which did lead him to getting a haircut, still wondering whether to go shiny head or a simple buzz cut. Can you guess which one he went with? Well, Karl proceeded to become Walter White and began selling going bald. He went bald. I guess you could say this was truly the moment when Karl became Beanie Berg. Now that you're mostly caught up, let's talk about that brand new channel, shall we? Karl would announce the creation of a news channel so that he can compete with a certain gnome that we shall not discuss.
Roy.
His Twitter account for the channel was also created on the same day. Karl would end up growing out his beard.
Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of growing a beard. I don't know how far I'm gonna grow it out. I'm just gonna see how I like it and see how you guys react to it.
Thus, ending the beardless CHARMX era once and for all. Never mind. Never mind. Guess the beardless era may be coming to an end after all, since it was growing back. Yeah. Karl really considered deleting Facebook during this time as he hated being constantly on the app, and thought it was more for older people. Fair enough. So, friends and family, he did it! Again. 250,000 subscribers has been reached once more. Looks like he wanted to switch up his content yet again, while still doing more reactions of course. @dramanow would post its final tweet. Already? How could that be? Well, the next thing I'm about to discuss may be the reason as to why. @CHARMXOfficial would tweet that he'd upload his last few videos, either that day or the next, along with releasing an update video soon after. In this update, he mentioned the channel had recently received its second copyright strike, and you know the last time that happened. The thing is, both copyright strikes came from creators he admired, so he attempted to reach out to them but in return got completely ignored. No response whatsoever. Not a good look. He could also change up his content, but he didn't want to return to gaming because 1, he didn't think people were going to be interested in him playing games anymore. 2, the prices of AAA games on Steam during that time had recently increased from $60, which was already pretty expensive, to $90, which is just, come on! And 3, his computer was so bad, it probably couldn't handle the games he wanted to play anyway. He had also spent a ton of money fixing his 13-year-old piece of junk vehicle, so upgrading to a better computer wasn't a solution. Vlogs were also something Karl did in fact want to do, but also didn't at the same time, as he sees his life as extremely boring, and he admitted he really doesn't like wearing his beanie all day, which can be a surprise to many, but he didn't want to take it off for the video because he looks better with it on, and of course doesn't want anyone seeing his head in its true glory. He even thought about doing streaming, but because of the strike on the channel, he couldn't. He thought about creating a new channel so he could do streaming, but he had to get a new computer for that, and we all know that wouldn't happen anytime soon, or at least for a few months is what he said in the video. Not to mention needing dual monitors since his current computer already couldn't handle dickball. Karl just didn't know what to do moving forward. He was lost. It really felt like CHARMX 2 as we know it was soon coming to an end. The video concluded by saying that he was gonna continue reacting, but it was gonna be more in the style of a certain other popular reaction creator by the name of Blasphemous HD. I'm sure some of you may know him. Beyond this point was full of uncertainty. It seemed at any time the channel could receive its final strike. Before getting taken out back and assassinated by YouTube's military-grade silence barrel and magazine extended 360 no-scoped with flashlight semi-automatic Terminate pistol. From Terminator. But hey, even if the journey did end here, at least it was a good run. Well, so far so good, he reclaimed a milestone that was once lost. He sure did have an obsession with big butts. Understandable. Fan art! For the next few months, this would be the last tweet from Papa Memes, but perhaps the Critical Bastard's final video for good. He would beat his personal score with now 325,000 subscribers. Karl was not happy with his PC that day. There's a damn good reason why he wanted an upgrade. A poll to determine whether to keep his current intro or change it to his new one? Intriguing. Looks like gaming made a small return thanks to the inclusion of Geometry Dash, and may have reached just a wee bit. Once he gets that new PC, hoping by the end of September, he'd like to say a few words to his current computer.
I just want to talk to him.
Karl almost ended up in a car accident again. Luckily this time it didn't happen. This would also roughly be around the time when I discovered CHARMX for the very first time. Good thing I discovered him with his insides inside. Q&A again. I wonder why. Well, what are you waiting for? Answer his 400,000 subscriber Q&A already. I don't care if we're 8 years late. Dude, I've been watching CHARMX since 8 years ago. Man, I'm old. Karl had finally removed the 2 from the CHARMX name, and it was all thanks to a Twitter poll. A new doggo would be welcomed into the Keaton family. Now they have 2 dogs, Coda, which we've mentioned before, and their new pupper, Maggie. And you bet your horizontally challenged hindquarters that they're freaking adorable. Karl would do a hashtag CHARMX hair on Twitter where people submit what they think his hair under the beanie would look like. It made for some interesting submissions. Oh yeah, his PC still had yet to arrive. Until now, baby! Oh, he had to return the PC again for fixes. Oof. Don't worry though, after a few quick repairs, the PC was as good as bad. Yeah, it was still pretty terrible. Anywho, while this was all going on, a Twitter poll would determine if he should change the way he does his intro. You know, his Well, we went off track real quick. Anyway, back to what I was saying. He thought about changing his intro, but most voted not to as it was perfect the way it is. CHARMX is my favorite YouTuber. I hope he replies. Remember when he started playing Undertale sometime before the original channel's demise? Well, he didn't exactly get far in the series, but was planning to return to the game again since he did have a new PC, so that's brilliant. He received another copyright strike from someone who had no right to strike. At least, that's what we thought at first. It ended up being a huge misunderstanding, funnily enough. Don't worry though, the claim was removed so the channels remained totally fine. You may have heard of No Nut, but have you heard of No Shave? Back in the good old days when this title was a YouTube poop. He may have been also dared to do this intro, which I have to put it simply brilliant.
If you were wondering what that intro was, basically in one of the other YouTube poops About Me by Sparty Yoshi, I was dared to put that intro in one of my videos, and there you go.
Speaking of changing up his intros, he mentioned in this particular video that
I was testing out a new intro that one of you made me, and I had some good response from it, but I also had a lot of negative response from it, so I decided to stick with my current one.
And that
I have had a lot of people making new intros for me, and I would use them, but they use different songs, and they don't go with my current song, and I'm not changing my current intro song, so I can't really use the new intros.
Moving on, believe it or not, there was a point in history where Karl would record a video with none other than his father, as he was filming Coda's teeth being brushed, while Maggie was being, well, Maggie.
She just wants to help.
She's a big help.
What do you want, Goofy?
Good girl code. Good girl code.
Maggie likes to help out. This is how Maggie contributes.
Anyway, Karl may have bought something. Ooh, this may be the first time we see Karl without his precious iconic beanie, but rather something more jolly and fitting for this time of year. Before the end of the year, CHARMX was now more than 500,000 subscribers. Woohoo! I don't know about you, but it seems to me that Maggie may not be the biggest fan of grapefruit. Just a hunch.
Maggie doesn't like the grapefruit.
Get ya. Gonna get ya.
CHARMX's 500,000 subscriber special would consist of a Q&A, along with reading fanfics of himself, and you can bet they get a little naughty. And boy oh boy, what a way to end off such a busy year! Main channel blowing up, main channel dying, starting the critical bastard, ending the critical bastard, dramanow being brought into the world, being taken out of it, ending the beardless era, backup channel becoming the main channel and reaching 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which means halfway to hair reveal, by the way. What? Did I not mention he would do a hair reveal at 1 million subscribers? No, you absolute babbling, baffling baboon with termite-infested armpit hairs! Okay, that's just uncalled for. Now that we've finally made it into 2017, I think it's safe to say this chapter has lasted long enough. Yep, I think it's about time we move on and talk about what the successor of 2016 has to offer. Yeah, not the most creative name for this chapter, as this was originally intended to be part of chapter 4, so treat this as like a part 2 to the previous chapter. So with that being said, let's move on, shall we? Here we go again. A very popular channel that Karl had reacted to many times in the past, going by the name of Explosive Entertainment, who's hugely known for their Cyanide and Happiness shorts, would make a reaction parody video with CHARMX's very own character named Charmo. Very charming. See what I did there? See what I did there? Now, of course, saying this made Karl's day would be an understatement of the year, and the year had just started, but also, when it came to Karl reacting to this parody, he was extremely nervous, a little scared of what to expect.
I am very nervous at the moment. For those of you who don't know, I love Cyanide and Happiness shorts, and they just made like a parody video of me, and I got on Twitter half an hour ago, and I was like surprised because I was getting all these notifications saying Explosive Entertainment made a video of me, and I'm really scared because I don't know if this is like really harsh, if it's really critical, if it's gonna be funny, if it's gonna be dark. I'm not really sure what to expect.
And honestly, fair enough. I'd be scared too if a large channel made a parody video about me. And don't lie, you would too. He was also told on Twitter that
I asked you guys on Twitter, is it funny, is it really harsh? And a lot of you said that it was funny, but it was also really sad. So I'm thinking that they're gonna be taking a lot of shots at me, which I really hope not, because I freaking love them and I don't want to be dissed by these guys.
But yeah, definitely check out their original parody video.
Anyway,
Karl was apparently diagnosed with bronchitis during the month of February, which would be cured soon after. However, I couldn't find any tweets mentioning it. Aw man, this is so sad. Alexa,
Bitch, shut the fuck up, you ignorant daft cunt.
Whoa,
you
what?
absolute pathetic forgettable side character from a 37 Rotten Tomatoes early 2000s romantic comedy movie no one cared about.
Whoa, stop.
That's an old meme.
I know, but you didn't
Go back to 2017.
Actually, it was 2018.
You're lost.
Yeah.
Or go call for Siri instead. I'm not the only AI assistant in the world.
Yeah, but...
Caterpillar mustache. Shit-speaking donkey.
Okay, enough. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Shall we? A tweet I did find from him though was when he revealed that since grade 10 he was mentally in a very dark place in life. I know this doesn't exactly line up with him discovering YouTube in 2008 if he was depressed before then, but I'm sure he just misremembered one of these moments. 600,000 subscribers! Surprisingly enough, he would not make a Q&A, but rather a video where people absolutely roast the living shins out of Karl. I swear, I didn't swear.
I'm really bad with timing. I mean, I can't even pull out on time. Basically, we just hit 600,000 subscribers slash family members, which is insane because I never thought I would hit like 50,000 or, 100,000. I was surprised when I hit 100 subscribers. Now, I wasn't really sure what to do for this milestone, but it was suggested in the comments that I let you guys roast me. So I made a video the other day saying, please roast me. So thank you to everyone who participated. I'm sorry if I don't get to everyone just because there are a lot of comments.
And quite frankly, they went pretty creative.
What are you talking about? I swear all the fucking time.
Yeah, that aged well. With a total of only 40 videos and 17.7 thousand subscribers, CHARMX Plays would finally be no more. Luckily this was done for a good reason, as Karl would proceed to create a new second channel by the name of CHARMX 2. Again. Now get ready for some of the most confusing changes Karl has ever made to his channels. The main channel name changed from CHARMX to CHARMX Reacts, and the second channel to just CHARMX. The next day, the second channel remained as CHARMX, but the main channel became CHARMX 2. I gotta say, man, sometimes your decisions confuse me on immeasurable levels. That's until I realized he was most likely expecting to lose his main channel again, presumably because he got a second copyright strike. But, about a week later, he switched the names around back to normal. Thank fuck. Following that naming crisis would be an even bigger crisis. Perhaps one of the most bizarre moments during KARL'S journey occurred on the 20th of March 2017. When he uploaded on his second channel DIY Fails That Will Make You Laugh, he went on to talk about his own DIY moment when he was gonna hot glue his bumper back on his
shitmobile
before proceeding to show us. Things couldn't possibly go wrong, right? However, while filming, he didn't realize reflections existed for a moment, and since he wasn't wearing his beanie at that exact moment in time, I think you can take a guess at what exactly happened. There's a pretty good reason Karl deleted this video 2 minutes after going public. Karl was thinking of writing a book, which resulted in him releasing a poll for people to pick what kind of genre to go for. People, of course, knew exactly what they wanted. I mean, I know this was a joke answer, but making that as an option to begin with is wild. The real question is, would he do it though? Here's your boy doing some interesting Mickey Mouse impressions.
Well, Pluto, who your friend? Huh? I like to fist my ass. Huh? I like to play with myself. There's no such thing as bad porn. Huh?
Oh boy, that's fun, that's fun.
With 700,000 subscribers around the corner, a poll was sent into the wildlands of Twitter so that his audience could determine what they wanted his new biggest milestone to be about. This decision would be the birth of one of, if not the most iconic CHARMX videos in all of history. When the day arrived, Karl would upload his 700,000 subscriber special, A Day in the Life of CHARMX, which would hold many unforgettable moments.
You've no clue how much I don't want to be making this video. 700,000 subscribers! Candy for breakfast! Want to give a big old kiss, don't you?
I hope that looked realistic.
Let's start the epic montage!
My vegetarian body!
But yeah, that's basically all for this vlog.
Along with producing countless YTPs shortly after. Yet another poll was posted as he thought about buying a guitar. Could this be the first instance of Karl getting into music? Well, guess what? He friggin' did it, folks. He bought a guitar before doing an unboxing video on it.
Ma, hentai is the best anime. Oh, the guitar is here. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, let's get this open. Yeah, take that. Take it all. Yes. Yes! 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 Ah! Open up, you son of a... Ah! Ah! Get out! Get out of me! Wow, look at this beauty.
I am not going to explain what just happened. Let's move on, okay?
Take it off. Yeah, nice and slow. Yeah. This video is gonna be age restricted. Look at that shaft.
God damn it, Karl! You're gonna get me age restricted! But anyway, there's another good reason why I brought up this topic. Soon after the unboxing marks the moment where Karl would technically make his first ever song, albeit not exactly what you'd expect.
I'm a country boy. Had a baby with my girlfriend Fred. That's right, Fred. That's what I said. I don't know why our parents named it that, but they're dead. Okay.
Well, that was a waste of money.
Gee, thanks, Karl. A fan wanted CHARMX to make a third channel, but Karl explained how CHARMX 2 was already taking a toll on his anxiety, so another channel would just absolutely destroy him. So that does it? Karl is never gonna make a third channel? Well, we'll see about that. This would in fact not be a very happy Independence Day for Karl, as he would address that a person would pretend to be him on Instagram under the name CHARMX Official, in which they would insult others in the comment sections of their posts. For example, calling girls fat, along with encouraging other people to harass others because,
Why? Why do you need to do that?
Karl announced that the CHARMX main channel was most likely not going to be around much longer.
This channel might not be here in the next couple weeks or months, so I have created a backup channel for this channel. Now, the channel is called CHARMX 3. What an original name. Now, I also have another channel called CHARMX 2, but I mean, that channel at this point, I think it's fully blacklisted by YouTube. I mean, it's screwed, so I'm thinking of giving up on that channel. If you want to continue this journey with me after this channel goes under, make sure you go subscribe to CHARMX 3.
But now to talk about something a little bit less depressing. On the same day this sad news was being announced, something a little bit more exciting popped up on the channel. He would upload his first ever Super Mario Logan reaction with SML movie, The Fender Bender.
What?
I remember watching this the day it was released, so I'm proud to say I was present when the sacred text was written. Why is this reaction so important in particular? Well, SML movie reactions would become a staple in Karl's career as CHARMX, a series he'd continuously make throughout the years. He even does SML movie reactions today after his return. So it was pretty clear that this being a creator he was so invested in, that the reaction that started it all seems necessary to add to the history. Karl posted a video for Brandon Rogers, a creator Karl reacted to countless times, also the voice actor for Blitzo in Hell of a Boss, and fun fact, Brandon actually did comment on CHARMX's video. Perhaps one of the largest milestones we'd all see in a little while would be the sub count of over 800,000. And, oh, there it is! This was when he announced he had bronchitis. Now, I will have to clarify that I actually did change it on the wiki myself, so it's actually the correct date instead of February. I don't know why it was February, but regardless, it has been fixed, so you don't have to worry about it. Anyways, continue the video. A tweet was posted warning all subscribers that the channel was gonna meet its inevitable doom in T-7 days. And, what do you know? This would be the final day we'd ever see the CHARMX channel as we knew it. Well, for a second time now, but the fact that he was this close to 1 million subscribers is the very reason why I was pissed at YouTube. But at the same time, this made it even more impressive when CHARMX did hit 1 million subscribers eventually. Spoilers! But as soon as the channel pulled a Mr. Davey and disappeared off the face of the platform, CHARMX 3 would step up as the new official main channel with a name change and yeah. This would mark the new era where Karl would have to grow a new main channel from scratch all over again. Now, when CHARMX 3 was born, it had already gained over 23.66 thousand subscribers on its first day, and of course boosted when it became the main channel. However, as the weeks go by, you'll begin to realize that getting back to where he was at with 813,000 subscribers would be no easy task. No kidding, am I right? Ah shit, here we go again. You already made that joke! Ah, fine. And for the record, he didn't leak his hair again. He learned his lesson from last time. Right? Yeah, he did. He wrote a song for when he reached 100,000 subscribers. See, his music side is starting to peek through. He was... see, his music side really is starting to peek through. He was originally planning on doing this for when CHARMX 2 hit 100,000, which happened a while ago, but he decided, yeah, no.
Oh, no.
He was interested in watching the newly released It movie at the time, and after doing so would post a movie review on it. On it, get it? Haha, funny. He tried something new with the reaction video layout.
I was doing a little bit of tweaking here, and to make this setup less ghetto and trashy, I've decided to add a border to the actual video I'm reacting to. I know, right? Friggin' high tech. Anyway, so this is what it's gonna look like now when I'm reacting. There we go. We got a border. It's professional.
All I can remember is how incredibly distracting it was. I was not a fan. Probably why he stopped using it soon after. Thank friggin' frig. To everyone that says I'm not smart, I can prove you wrong. Wubba lubba dub dub! On several occasions, Karl had asked his audience on which thumbnail looks better. Here's my personal picks in case you're interested. I like the first one, but the second is my go-to. The first one, no doubt. I would have considered the second if it had the reaction written below like the first option. First one, screw emojis and thumbnails. Anyway, back to the history we go. Let's-a go. Woohoo! Karl had made a new temporary intro to keep things interesting. Dude, you did not need to share that with everyone, I'm just saying. Yet again, a third channel would be created by the name of, you guessed it, CHARMX 3! Oh my, who would have guessed? Nani? I think an interesting idea would be to name the second channel Charmy and the third channel Charms. That way they're linked together in a very unique way, which could have been fun.
Oh shit, here we go again.
That fake Instagram account was back at it again with more mischievous acts, in which was posted a day after a familiar outro screen was announced to be used for the first time, which occurred the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas everybody, ho 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 like my wife. But back to this video, it also came out the day before re-accomplishing 200,000 subscribers, right before the end of the year. 2018 everybody, here we come! When Filthy Frank announced that he would be quitting his YouTube journey to pursue his music career... Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Karl had talked about it. Sad way to celebrate New Year's, but you ought to be proud of Joji for choosing this decision. He chose to leave a hero instead of staying long enough to see themselves become the villain. Unlike some! If only we can relive that age of YouTube again. Before releasing his subscriber special of 250,000 subscribers, for the third time now, which he also celebrated on Twitter a little bit too early, whoops, he would rant about how he had wrote a children's book and that he had paid as much as $300 for an artist to do the cover since,
I can't draw it.
Which I completely disagree with.
The person that I hired is like the cheapest person you can find, and I called this person, I'm like, hey, will you be able to do this kid's book? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Turns out the person might be the most illogical, dumbest person I've met, and I'm trying not to be rude. I have a character in the book, and the character has bare feet, and she made him like ridiculously large. I don't understand. It got to the point where I'm like, screw the bare feet, we're gonna put shoes on the character. For some reason, the graphic artist puts boots on the character, and then to add to my anger, the character's standing facing you, but the feet are pointing inwards, so it looks so unnatural. I've spent $300 so far getting the cover work done for this book. I'm thinking of just calling the book quits because I have 33 other pages to do, and if you're gonna take that much money for the cover of the book, I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life by the time we're done the book. So screw it. I think I'm just gonna quit in general.
Yikes.
Because I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. Whether I learn how to create an app and sell that or something else. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Now for his subscriber special, he would do something a little bit different from any other sub special. In fact, I don't think most would dare try this for a milestone. He ate an entire jar of sauce.
I'm gonna be eating a jar of sauce. Oh, this better be friggin' worth it. It's not bad. What am I doing with my life? Ooh, so gross. I am the victor! What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I am victor! What am I doing with my sauce?
Well, that was something. Anyway, just a heads up, this next part is going to be depressing. In fact, it feels wrong to add background music to this, so bear with me. Karl not only had 2 dogs, but he also had a pet rabbit named Joey, in which at roughly 13 years old had sadly passed away. Rest in peace, little bunny buddy. May we never forget you. His new friend would be introduced as a brand new member of the channel. They would react to videos together, share thoughts, laughs, have fun.
I'm going to be introducing you to a friend. I've never brought anyone else on this channel before. I think it's time to change it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my new friend. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. It's Captain America!
That's right, it was a little mini figurine named Cap.
Captain America likes to be called Cap because Captain America is too freaking long to say it. So, Captain will be joining me in reacting to videos and he will be giving his opinion from time to time. What do you have to say, Cap? What do you gotta say?
My wife left me for Spider-Man, and now I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and spend my days crying and eating nachos.
I don't know if I would have said that, but okay.
Following his introduction, Cap would occasionally add commentary on videos Karl was reacting to from time to time. Okay, you gotta admit, this is friggin' sick. I want one! Karl releases his first life update. He talks about the Odd Ones Out, his book, and his mum?
See this every month or something? Are you kidding? This hasn't happened in so long. I swear there better not have been anyone important on the other end of that. I really hope there was no one important there, because I didn't listen. A large portion of you know that I wrote a kid's book. We finally got the cover of the book done, and the person that was working on the cover, they were working on it since January 1st. I have officially given up. Like, the book is written, but as far as getting the drawing done, I am not going to be doing it, because I wasted like $300 on the cover, and I have 33 pages to do. If I had the program, I could probably do a better job. I got to talk to the Odd Ones Out, and he messaged me on Twitter, and no, he doesn't have any problems with my reactions. I mean, that's been the highlight of the month by far. For those of you who don't know, I still live at home with my parents. I hate it! I freaking hate it! My mother's been off this last week, so that means that she's here when I record, and I've tried not to be yelling so much. It's so annoying, because you have to be considerate of other people. And also, I don't want my mother hearing me yelling and all this stuff, so I can't wait till she goes back to work. I cannot wait!
And all that was just Life Update 1. I mean, wow. There is a fair amount of upcoming updates, so stay tuned. 300,000 subscribers for the 3rd time in a row. Anyway, the second Life Update would touch on topics such as a stolen credit card, making an Android game, and another book update.
The book! Freaking yesterday, I got the program that the crappy graphic artist was using. So I can actually do the drawing myself with a program that is, like, decent. And probably get the book done without having to pay any more money. I'm currently learning to program an Android game because I've always wanted to do that, and my goal is to get one done in like a couple months. So yeah, I've been having these weird like talking issues which kind of make me think it is a stroke. Basically, I was trying to say something and I kept like jumbling it up, and then it got to the point where I couldn't even like put the words together in my head. Also, I'm probably only gonna react. Also, I'm probably going to what the frig? You see, I don't know what's wrong with me. I went onto my bank account. Some company got a hold of my credit card and started charging me, and I've never heard of them before. It got up to like $300 they had charged me just randomly. So I called the bank. They, you know, they got the situation resolved. They canceled the credit card, and the payments were marked as fraud and whatnot. But yeah, anyway.
For his 3rd update, he admitted to feeling burnt out, his parents left, and more.
I'm feeling burnt out. I'm doing so many videos every day, and I'm also working on something that I think could be a possible career. And I'm so burnt out and tired. So my parents left home for a few days, kind of like a road trip that they were on. So my brother and I were left taking care of the dogs. And for the most part, it's been fine. Someone tried getting into one of my pointless YouTube accounts, like my first YouTube account. This is the one that I actually use personally. But the good thing is, Google, they're like, yeah, no, that's most likely not him. So they blocked the person from trying to get into my account, which I'm glad for that.
This chapter is already over 10 minutes long, and there's still so much to say! How well was all of Karl's channels doing on the 4th of May 2018? I didn't hear you ask? Well, the main channel was at roughly 320,000, the second channel was around 122,000, and CHARMX 3, which he actually considered the second channel, at roughly 40-ish thousand. Pretty cool, right? He was also losing weight, if, again, anyone asked. I think we discovered a new species of dinosaur. Now for his 4th update. Monster centipede in my room!
In the last video I did, I said I was really worn out, but now I'm feeling better. What I've been doing different is that I was doing a video on CHARMX 3 and CHARMX 2 every day, as well as the main channel videos. And what I've done since is I started doing one video every other day. So, I mean, doing that, it's helping a lot. I'm actually working on my book again. I finished this kid's book. I have all the graphic work for the book done. And now I'm kind of stuck, as in, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, because I want to upload the book. I've looked up tutorials on YouTube. They're not helpful. I want to get it done. I'm so close. I can see the finish line. So, yeah, that happened. I had a house centipede in my bedroom, like right where I sleep. It was so big. It was like this. I have video footage. I'll play it right now.
You see it?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh! What are we supposed to do? I'm not getting close. What am I supposed to do?
Look at it. You freaked out so much.
You tapped me on the head. I thought it was it. I hate living here.
My brother's girlfriend, she started going like this on my head, and that freaked me out. So I'm not just freaking out for no reason, okay? I thought I should clarify that.
Now these are the moments that make me appreciate re-uploads. For his 5th update, yes, we're gonna do all of them, he gave up on music, and you guessed it, another update regarding his book.
I was actually trying to make music, and I kind of gave up on that. Like, I can kind of make music, but I can't complete it. Like, I can get 10-second loop going, and it sounds really good, but I can't deviate from that 10 seconds, and I can't, basically, that dream fell down the hole. So that happened. Yeah, I'm done the book. I did the artwork, I did everything, and now I'm done, but I'm not publishing it, and I don't think I'm going to publish it, because it seems like if you go with an actual publisher, like if you do a self-publishing thing, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So I did some research. Kids' books don't sell that well, so even if I were to try to get it up, and it's not like I'd actually make any money from it, really.
And that will be the final life update video for now, at least for this chapter. According to his wiki, he reached 400,000 subscribers on July 18th, but considering the fact he had 406,000 on July 16th, and 398,000 on July 11th, with a Twitter reply congratulating CHARMX in between, I think it's safe to say his wiki may be slightly off. Excuse me, what? Karl introduced to the world the rise of his new alter ego, the Zucchini King. Grande reached 1 million subscribers and thus uploaded their subscriber special. Before doing so, however, Grande would reach out to ask Karl if he'd like to participate in the video for this special occasion, in which Karl responded with clips of none other than Zucchini King, wielding not one but 2 almighty zucchinis. Never mess with Zucchini King!
I'm losing my mind. So yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Well, in the final product, it only had a clip of him wielding 1 zucchini, so... Oh man. The next day, Karl would create a new outro song to replace the classic one he's used ever since his very first video, now over 4 years ago. He planned on making an intro song as well, which would upload 2 weeks later, officially ending the Hey Mammy Sylvanesso remix era. And while listening to these, you could sort of hear Fresca Slim in the making, which is friggin' awesome.
I hate music. I hate music! I hate it!
I hate to let down the mood again, but Karl's rabbit wasn't the only pet who passed away this year. At the age of roughly 14 years, or a little older, Karl's dog Coda unfortunately passed away. She'd been not doing too good over the past few months, so it was only a matter of time before something like this would happen. Rest in peace, Coda. You will always be an adorable puppy. To lighten the mood, would you be interested to know that Karl's sanity was questionable as he chose to react to the color black?
So today I'm gonna be reacting to the color black.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh snap. Dang, that's nice, that's nice.
And if you think he wasn't insane enough, he also reacted to the color red.
That's a good looking color. It really reminds me of blood. I like it. I like it.
Whoever thought we'd see the grand return of the Bean Boozled challenge? Not I, but thus, the sequel has risen.
The original beans are still here. So, alright, so I have a little handful of jelly beans. Here we go. Frig me. That's the worst. That's the freaking worst. That is freaking disgusting. Oh my goodness. Mixing all of the bad ones together. What was I thinking? Of course that would happen.
Now he's eating regular beans while watching Karl's funny moments. Yep, he's lost it. The wolf among us? And finally, for Karl's 24th birthday, he was gifted with the milestone of 500,000 subscribers once again. Now, I would love for you to take a wild guess as to what he chose to do for 500,000. Would it be his usual Q&A? Perhaps record another challenge? Well, if your answer was literally anything but a normal sub-special video, you'd be friggin' right. He unboxed an orange!
Let's see what we got. Oh boy. Wonder what's in here. Oh snap. What is this? What is this? I got a friggin' orange? Oh my goodness. We have to unbox this orange.
He sniffed too much of that same glue holding his sanity together, he unboxed a friggin' orange! But with that being said, now that he's reclaimed his 500,000 status, I think it's safe to say he's successfully regrown the main channel. Yes, it isn't as big as before, but he'll get there eventually, don't you sweat it. So join along as we leap into this next chapter and watch as he continues to follow that yellow brick road to 1 million subscribers. Hey, congratulations on making it an entire hour into this history. So much said, yet so much more to go. That last chapter may have been a beefy one, but now that we've moved on, I think it's time to see how the Beanie Boy continues to grow, as he approaches a milestone that would be considered a dream to most creators. Thank you for staying along, and with that being said, let's continue! During the month of Spooktober would reveal Karl's new song. Oh boy, he's starting to make music. Halloween's coming.
That's what she said.
I mean, he's not wrong. After Granddaddy's 1 million sub special, Flying Kitty would follow along with their own 1 million sub special. A face reveal! Not only did Karl get featured in that project as well, that was basically how the video ends.
Not bad, not bad. I guess it was mildly adequate.
Believe when we say that CHARMX managed to appear in a PewDiePie video. In the first frame. I kid you not, check it out for yourself, it's awesome. I think this was the day we found CHARMX's ultimate weakness. Paula Deen YouTube poops, baby! Now I can't stress enough how much I adore this moment. This is personally one of my favorites, if not my top favorite CHARMX moment, so take it away.
But once again, I don't see any butter. Butter.
I haven't laughed like that in a little while. What the freak was that?
Butter. Blank.
I got like a tear in my eye almost. What the freak?
Folks.
I think I'm having a mental breakdown. I need to collect myself. What the freak just happened? Oh my goodness. I just had like a breakdown at the same time. That was so funny.
On the day of my channel's birth, there was an important message to all gamers.
Hey gamers, wanna play some Fortnite? Hey, wanna play some Fortnite? Fortnite's a bad game. Huh? What'd you say, you son of a— Say that again, I dare you! Say that again!
I don't want to play any Fortnite.
Wait, you don't want to play Fortnite? You don't want to play Fortnite? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
And now for Karl's 6th and final life update. Take it away, Beanie Boy.
Let's just jump into the update. I might be moving out. I want to move across the country, but then again, in order to do that, I would have to have income coming in other than from YouTube. I'm getting too old to be living here. Desk is still pulled out from the wall. That's correct. We got the problem fixed in the electrical, so I don't know why this wall back here is still like ripped out. So I can't push the desk back until my father fixes it. I don't know what he's doing. This is why I gotta move out. I don't have to deal with these problems. So recently I found out I might be having seizures. I might be. I have not gone to the doctors to get this confirmed or anything like that. And I'm not gonna go see any doctor because everyone knows doctors give you cancer. Next thing on the list is trying to figure out what to do with my life. And that's been a problem for a long time. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to do. So I've been working on some side projects. And I recently found out in the last couple weeks that one of the main ways of making income off of this side project, I'm not gonna be able to do. Anyway, this is a very sad video.
Indeed it was, Beanie Boy, but I gotta say, these life updates were a huge help for the history of Fresh Cut Slim, so I salute you, Beanie Boy man. Now, let's move on to 2019. As he inches closer to beating his personal record, Karl swooshes past 600,000 subscribers. May have been my 16th birthday, but it was his gift. After releasing daily tweets of links to his videos as they upload since the day he started tweeting, this would officially be the end of that streak. This was done by disabling YouTube posting automatically to Twitter since he didn't feel like doing that anymore, but also because YouTube was gonna put an end to that feature anyway, so why bother continuing to use it? This has made resurfacing captured videos on the Internet Archive considerably more difficult, from 2019 and onwards. What a shame. Shortly after realizing that hot sauce on a cut wasn't the greatest idea, he posted a sneak peek to his upcoming animation, Dora Can't Find Her Parents.
Hello, me old chum.
I'm a chicken boy. After releasing his animation, he wanted to make more, for example, making one on SpongeBob, or if anyone had ideas, they could suggest what they'd like to see animated in the near future. Fun fact, Karl hates eating cereal and is actually harmful to him. He finds that it smashes against the top of his mouth, making it swell, and hurt like Joker 2 Folie do. I'm sure that joke won't be ancient history by the time this project is done. Turns out I'm probably not going to be able to move out as soon as I wanted. Today was not a good day. Gee, that's crazy. Next TikTok. Hee-ho-wee wow. Kaka-koko crazy. Speaking the language of the gods, I see. Another gnoblin. Because he wanted to create more animations, guess the artistic side in his mind clicked, he asked whether to make a new channel for said animations or use an old channel. Pretty close vote, not gonna lie. Happy Wheels in 2019? Nani? I guess the CHARMX games within him returned once more. But instead of being a pogo master, I am the pogo master. He showed the world he was now a bottle flip master.
Ah, there we go. I am the bottle flip master.
Some things never change, but merely evolve. Remember when he made the day in the life of CHARMX for his milestone of 700,000 and became one of the most iconic videos of his career? Well, after reclaiming 700,000 Beanie Boy fans, he would birth the sequel to that vlog.
Ooh, you're looking like a little snack. I got vegetable juice. Yes. Man, I miss having 2 dogs. One of my eyes doesn't look right. That's because it's swollen at the moment. But then I thought, hey, I could use this as vlog content. You're looking mighty cute, Maggie. I'm scared of moving out. And although I hate living here, the thought of moving out scares me so much. Hey, look, it's the Grand Canyon. Look how long it is. Wow. Alright, here's a little song I've been working on. I hope you guys like it. Hey, Stinky! There she is! I have carpal tunnel and my wrists are just killing me. Look at that lighting! Woo! My eye is feeling better. Ah! Only 300,000 more to 1 million. And once I get to 1 million, I'll take off the hat.
One more thing to mention is that he was digging a trench around his house and even considered filling it with water like a moat because he was paranoid of the neighbors getting too close. Not exactly sure why you'd go out of your way to do such a thing, but you do you. You're just gonna look a little crazy is all. He went to the dentist to get his tooth removed. Big ouchie. People's attempt to raid Area 51 may have failed, but you know what didn't? Karl's body getting raided by a virus, making him sick. And it just so happened to occur mere months before the year in which we shan't discuss. His brother got the virus too. It's spreading! The Zucchini King returns once more!
Bet you didn't expect to see me. Yeah, it's been a while since you've seen me.
You know nothing! I am the Zucchini King!
Just in a day's work. Can you imagine what I do in 2 days?
Man, this next year is gonna be a rough one. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Karl's parents were thinking of kicking him out the house sometime next year. Not sure when it was gonna happen, but it was only inevitable before the time comes. To say something so controversial, yet so brave. Friggin' balls of titanium over here. Well, over 2 years later, we're finally almost back to where we left off. Now you know what I mean when I said again for 800,000 subscribers earlier. Ah yes, there was in fact something we did fear going into 2020. It seemed the FTC and the talk of copper as a whole was going to destroy YouTube.
The new changes that'll be coming to YouTube in January revolving COPA. Any video that is affected that's marked for kids, if you make money on it, it's gonna be nothing. You can't even comment on videos. I would say around 3/4 of my videos are marked. It's actually even higher than that now. The guidelines for what could be marked for kids are so vague, it could be anything. I will no longer longer be reacting to SML, SMG4. I will no longer be doing gaming videos. The community that's been built since this channel started will just be destroyed because it can't even be too edgy either. It can't be too kid-friendly. Like, there's such a little gray area that the content has to fit in. I don't know, it's gonna be brutal in January.
With Karl planning to quit reactions to SML, SMG4, and his gaming content as a whole, it seemed a new era of Karl's journey was just over the horizon. To keep true to the title of this chapter, however, I will not be prematurely wrapping up this chapter just yet. Ending November off, CHARMX finally beats its personal subscriber record of 813,000. Throughout December, Karl would give updates regarding Copper and how it was going to affect his channel.
Right now on YouTube, you can't swear, you can't do certain things, but now in January of 2020, they're making it so that you can't make videos that are targeted towards kids, which it's so vague. It looks like January 2020 is gonna be one of the worst year for creators. It's not even YouTube's fault. YouTube can't do anything about this. This is freaking the FTC's fault for making such vague rules that can apply to almost anything. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't feel so jolly. I haven't been feeling really motivated to be making videos, really. I don't feel like doing stuff anymore. I don't know. But I know if I stop, it can destroy the channel. Years ago, before I ever got anywhere on YouTube, I took a break for like a month. When I came back after that break, if a video I made got like 300 views or whatever, that got cut in half. It could decimate your channel. It'll destroy it. So if those of you who want to see me take off the hat at 1 million subscribers, I don't know if that's gonna happen, and I don't know how many more years I'll be doing YouTube for, so I don't know.
Yikes. Now that's gonna sting, because having the plural in years isn't exactly what happened.
They have words like fun, that's a kid-friendly word, you can't say fun, as well as whatever. Do you know how stupid that is? They are so out of touch, it's unbelievable.
After needing help finding a particular video, someone found it for him. Oh hey Ray William Johnson, how you doing? Merry Christmas! Ho ho!
Holy shit.
The 2010s were quite the decade to say the least, but thus, the 2020s have begun. Now apparently for the first week of this new decade, Copper would not be implemented into the YouTube system just yet. But when the time came, Karl got an email stating that Copper was finally being implemented.
Every other day I'm making a video about COPA at this point. They're updating the law. The legalization of this bill that is being proposed would also require parental consent before companies can collect personal data like names, addresses from children under 16 years old. That cuts out even more content that creators can't make. I don't even know if this is gonna be a good year for YouTube, but it's definitely gonna be one of the last years, you know? Creators will just stop making videos. I can easily see that.
Yeah, little did you know, buddy. I haven't been giving enough credit to milestones regarding his other channels, so just this once, here's to 200,000 subscribers on CHARMX 3. It seemed a life update would return in the form of a health update.
A few days ago, probably around a week ago, I made a video saying that I might be going to the hospital because I was having like a pain down here. I was initially thinking it might be like appendicitis or pancreatitis, but the pain has kind of gone away now, so I don't need to go to the hospital or anything. So there you go, that's the end of this little update video. I'm slowly making more Reddit type videos. I really enjoy making them. Eventually, over the next few months, I will move a lot of my reactions over to doing Reddit type videos, and I think I'll also be doing less videos as well over the next few months. I can't really keep up at this pace. Doing 2 a day on the main channel, at least 1 a day on CHARMX 3, and then every other day I'm doing a video on CHARMX 2. So I figure I'll be slowing down how many videos I do on the main channel, where I might end up doing 1 video a day, something like that. I've been working on my video game. I originally wanted to get it out by January-ish. Over the last 2 months, I've been fixing bugs, and there's so many that I gotta fix, and like the game is not even functionable. You can't even play it really because of the amount of bugs that I have in my game.
Now I know I've shown you a ton of clips these past several chapters, but this is one that I need you to pay close attention to due to it being very important down the road. I'll play it right now.
I'm planning on going on a trip with my friend and his father. For the trip, we're gonna have to go on an airplane, and I haven't been on an airplane since 2010. I have some severe paranoia of the plane crashing. Even though I know statistically the odds of you getting into a plane crash are around 1 in 7 million, but still I have paranoia, and I kind of feel as if I'm not gonna make it back. So I have made a video talking about like my religion and everything, but no one will see that unless I actually don't make it. Yeah, I don't know.
Not only did he plan on releasing a video on speaking about his religion on the off chance he died, but he had the same plan for if he ever chose to quit YouTube for good as well. Now you see why this was so important. 900,000 subscribers. With T-minus 100,000 subscribers left to go before we would see Karl complete his long-awaited goal of 1 million subscribers, it was clear soon we were approaching the endgame now. It was possible that later this year we could finally get the epic conclusion to the age-old question, what lies underneath that beanie? Strap in, boys, this is gonna get exciting. This milestone special brought the return of him eating out of a jar, though in the form of an animation instead.
Thank you so much for 900,000 subscribers. I think I'll just eat some honey. Let's turn on the jazz music. Alright, here we go.
I like honey!
By the end of May would mark when CHARMX 3 would surpass CHARMX 2 in subscribers, which is a rather weird flex. You could say that again! You do realize you're starting to sound a little cuckoo, right? Well, yeah, that's what 2020 did to me! Okay, fair enough. If I turned myself into a pickle, would it be the funniest thing you've ever seen? Karl announced he would possibly move in with a friend in the near future. Having slept on the same bed since the school days, he'd finally get a new bed. And it is not so good. God damn it, give this guy a break. There is something you should know.
I am Batman.
Okay, but for real, he wanted to make a video explaining that his personality could possibly experience a slight shift due to the antipsychotic medication he's been taking.
Around a year and a half ago, I was working on one of my games, and I got up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to do some testing, and when that happened, it triggered like a panic attack, and since then, my mental state's kind of gone downhill. Like, I've always had paranoia anxiety. Like, sometimes I'll just get up and I'll go do something, and I'll notice my heart rate spikes like crazy. I'll smell things that aren't there. I'll see stuff out of the corner of my eye, and they'll be like, what's that? And there'll be nothing there. 3 months ago, I went and started seeking help. They have decided to put me on some antipsychotic medication. I start that tomorrow. So, the reason why I'm making this video, although this is a very private topic, is because this medication might change my personality a bit. I don't know. I hope it fixes my problem. If it does work, I'll become happier, which would be nice. But anyway.
This may also be relatively important information down the road, so do keep in mind. Yet again, the almighty Zucchini King shows thyself from within the shadows. Unfortunately for the last time. Or will it be the last time? Dun dun dun!
Let's go!
We friggin' did it, folks! We friggin' did it! Hip hip hooray! Let's party, every pony! Wow, I am such a brony. But alas! 1 million subscribers achieved! Now, for the moment most friends and family have waited for since the beardless CHARMX era. A monumental achievement we didn't even think would ever be reached, thanks to YouTube. CHARMX's 1 million subscriber hair reveal special. Take it away!
This video is a very long-awaited and anticipated video that people have been asking me to make for years. Basically, people just want me to take off my beanie, and I've been saying for years, you know, once I hit 1 million subscribers, I will take off my beanie. And it freaking happened, and I bet a lot of you are excited. Okay, before I go right into the hair reveal, I just want to talk about a video that I made a while ago where I went out to my car. Now, I didn't show myself in the actual, like, recording, but the car had a reflection in the door, and there you could actually see my head. Now, I've had people bring this up to me for years, and they say, oh look, he's bald in this. I wasn't bald, I had a buzz cut. I just wanted to clear that up, because that's always pissed me off, and I've never mentioned it. So now that that's cleared up, let's get on to the actual reason why you're here, for the main attraction, to the hair reveal. 1,
he's gonna do it!
2, So, you thought you were going to see CHARMX without his beanie on. Well, not as the bald bastard's around and has anything to say about it.
Okay, time out. Now, I may have just did a slight exaggerated reenactment of how I felt watching this for the first time, but I was genuinely shocked that he was completely bald. My original guess was that he had very short hair, like what he said before.
You know, like a military buzz cut? I had a buzz cut.
But once his head revealed the shine of glory, I knew I was wrong. But along with his hair reveal brought a new alter ego, one that even the Zucchini any king wouldn't dare to battle, which is probably why he was never seen again after this.
And I am the bald bastard. This is my domain.
They ended up having a friggin' epic anime battle, which is one of the very reasons why I consider this one of the absolute peak moments in CHARMX history. But just because Karl reached 1 million subscribers doesn't mean the CHARMX era had ended just yet. There was still more to come, so sit back and relax as we dive into everything that occurred post 1 million subscribers. What the frig was that? Hold on. I'll be but a moment. Okay, well I don't know what that was all about, but anyway. Well, what do you know, Karl would surprise us with the recreation of his gaming channel CHARMX Plays, bringing back what was lost long ago. Welcome back, gaming content, long time no see.
Welcome to CHARMX Plays. Going to be my Let's Play channel. I've had so many requests to create a gaming channel, and I've finally done so.
He'd play games such as the Henry Stickmin collection.
If I use a chair, can I myself?
Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Oh! Yes! Oh my, finally! Yeah! Yeah!
Minecraft.
I don't want to fall. I've got to be really careful here.
Bastard! Again!
Kerbal Space Program, Universe Sandbox, Streamer Life Simulator, Teardown, yeah! Cyberpunk 2077, along with other games of course. It's practically CHARMX Games 2.0. Depressingly enough, Happy Wheels did not return for the CHARMX Plays revival. Bit of a shame, honestly. Ow! So guys, CHARMX 3 did it. I mean, come on, you can take a guess. I've made this joke like 4 times now. Karl do be out here asking the real questions. After taking a COVID test, he would make a video on it. Karl would begin to question whether the recreation of his gaming channel was a mistake.
I haven't been feeling that motivated to keep making videos, and I don't know if this channel was like the wrong decision to do. Initially, when I started this channel, things were going amazingly. The videos did well, people seemed to like them, and the algorithm was like promoting my videos a lot. So that was really motivational to keep making videos. But now, that is not the case. I don't even think that many people want to like watch me play games anymore, which is what I was afraid of from the beginning. But nonetheless, the main issue is that I'm just not feeling that motivated to keep doing gaming videos here. I'm still gonna give it a shot, probably for the next month, but yeah, I don't know.
Thankfully, he decided to continue the gaming channel. When we needed YouTube Rewind most to distract us from the reality 2020 threw at our noggins, it abandoned us. Because of this, Karl would rant about the cancellation of YouTube Rewind.
I am disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
On the same day, however, he released an interesting Undertale Gmod animation, which is definitely something actually distracting from reality. It would be official! Karl had announced that he would finally move out of his parents' basement. Woo!
Yeah, baby!
I'm officially moving out January 1st. I've never moved out before, so it's gonna be interesting, and I'm kind of nervous. It's a new experience, and I don't like new experiences all that much. I just wanted to update you guys because I said I would if I got the apartment, and I did get the apartment.
But then, a week later,
I feel as if this channel's dying. Was moving out a good idea? I've already signed a freaking contract for a year. Have I just made a really bad decision moving out or signing the contract to move out? I don't even freaking move out for another month and a bit, but now I've got an obligation to pay a lot of rent compared to what I'm paying now living at home with my parents. Should I start uploading 3 videos a day again? Maybe that's what I'll start doing just to try to keep the channel going for maybe another year and a bit. I don't know. Maybe that'll help the channel stay alive, I guess. Yeah, that's it for this video.
With his channel's life hanging by a thread and with an already signed contract to his new home, it seemed to be a rough situation for our boy. He reacted to his own animation from CHARMX Plays.
I should let you know that I have seen this before, as I'm the one who made it.
Karl discusses the possibility of YouTube's inevitable doom, which luckily hasn't happened yet. But as I said already, scary times.
This is a massive issue that's gonna be put through in Congress, I believe. I just haven't seen anyone talk about it. Like, how come Critical hasn't talked about this? He talks about everything. He has a voice and a reach. I have a voice, but I do not have a reach. I'm not the biggest YouTuber, okay? I'm a small little YouTuber. Okay, anyway. Basically, the US Senator, Tom Tillis, has proposed a bill that could potentially give influencers influencers and content creators jail time over copyright offenses. 2 days from now, they're trying to pass this. Long story short, if this bill goes through, reaction channels like myself are definitely not going to be a thing. Why is Critical or PewDiePie not talked about this? These are massive issues. We need these big creators talking about it. We have 2 days! We have 2 days left! It is not enough time for action to be taken. Why is it that I have to be the one who talk about this? Woohoo! Thank you to all the YouTubers who spoke out about this sooner. Oh wait, there was none.
Well, 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 you're in luck, Carl, because your video did in fact catch the attention of the myth, the legend. Moist Critical would upload news about the greatest music industry great of all time, where at 3:23, he would mention CHARMX for a brief moment.
A YouTuber named CHARMX made me aware of just how soon it is coming up.
It looks like Carl's plan worked. CHARMX saved YouTube. Carl thought about the possibility of bringing back beardless CHARMX at 2 million subscribers.
I'll tell you what, if my channel hits 2 million subscribers, I might go with beardless CHARMX. I'm gonna say I might. I don't think we're ever gonna hit it.
And depressingly enough, he never did. Rest in peace! Ah! Having lived in his parents' basement since the dawn of time, it would be finally time. He would move out and move into his new apartment.
Today is moving day, where I will be moving from my parents' place to my first ever apartment.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
It is really early in the morning right now because I have people coming to install internet today. Good thing is I'm not moving too far away from my parents. I have half an hour before I have to be at my apartment. But yeah, anyway. Yeah! Now I'm gonna go over to the new place. Well, here it is. The internet guy came. Yeah, it's all good to go now. I have finished working inside anyway.
This was shortly followed with his new apartment tour.
I'm back making another vlog. I thought you guys might want to see what I've done so far. So as you can see, I have the Christmas tree up. It looks really good. However, I've noticed spiders have fallen from it, and that's terrifying because I freaking hate spiders. Also, if you look over here, here's my setup.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
I also have lights put up because I like the atmosphere that it brings. I also have a robot. There he is. I call him Rob for short. He doesn't like it. Over here, we got the second computer. This is where I mine Bitcoin. I use this computer to make Gary's Mod animations. All right, so here's my bed. It's only a one-person bed because let's face it, I ain't having people over. I also got a workout machine, as you can see over there, and I plan to do my workouts here to try to get back in shape. There's this massive pile right here. Now, we don't talk about that. Look at all the garbages, man. Oh yeah. I had to get 2 garbages because my landlords didn't provide one, so I had to go buy one. Great. Anyway, I guess that's it for the vlog.
Look at him now, living on his own. For years, he wanted to achieve his goal of moving out of his parents' basement, but to no avail. He was too afraid to explore what was out there. But looking at him now, this was peak character development. He was no longer Beanie Boy, he was Beanie Man. There's a saying that all good things come to an end. Well, on this very day, that statement couldn't be more true than when Carl decided to put an end to CHARMX 2 and CHARMX 3 once and for all due to his mental health.
It's long overdue, I think, but I feel as if it is time. I can't do this anymore. Now, I love YouTube poops. I love them a lot ever since I was a little kid. This channel, however, I can't keep doing it. I have so much anxiety and paranoia. I don't know if that's because I'm not taking all my meds, but like, I've had it for a while and I feel as if it's just getting worse. That is why I've decided to no longer react to YouTube poops or do meme compilations on my other channel, CHARMX 2. I still plan on making YouTube videos on my main channel. Please do not re-upload my videos. I know some people will. Do not do that. I do not like people who do that. I hope you guys can understand. Hopefully my paranoia and my anxiety levels come down. I can't keep living like this. And yeah.
This rough decision sparked a response from a YouTube poop creator by the name of Soda Man, who gave his relatively harsh but completely understandable criticism regarding Carl's decision to wipe the channel of its content. Carl ended up responding in the comments, clearing up his reasoning behind the decision. Hey man, I know I can be a bit crazy sometimes, but I think my decision was the best for my mental state. If you want to re-upload reactions to your own videos that I made, then that is fine, but I don't want people just re-uploading videos that are not theirs. Part of my paranoia is brought on from the videos in general. That's why they are gone. One reason is that a lot of the YTPs portray me and others as bad people or in a bad light, and I don't really want to be associated with that. It gives me anxiety and paranoia. I have other paranoia as well which helped to lead to my decision, but I hope this clears up some stuff regarding why they are gone. The comment is still up, by the way, if you'd like to check out the original video. Ahem, link in description. But moving on from all that, Karl would upload his new vlog. Guess this year is turning out to be an interesting one so far after all. And it's gonna get more interesting in a minute, so, let's continue.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, me old mousy friend. Good morning, everyone. Time to get on with the day. It's coffee time. Coffee, 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 coffee. What's that, Sink? You want some coffee? There's coffee for everyone. Yeah! Extra sweet. Who said dying early wasn't delicious? Now it's time to shower because your boy, stinky. Vitamin D3. The other pill is just a vitamin C. And the last pill is for my mental state. We in the car! Woo! I may be white, but I can season my food. Hello, hello, hello. Hee hee, there she is. Do you want a snack? Do you want a snack? Oh, you just stole it from me. What can I say? I'm crazy. I don't have any other plans for the rest of the day, so I'm probably just gonna end the vlog here.
I never mentioned this, but after Karl thought his reactions to SML and SMG4 were over, he ended up continuing those reactions. However, he would eventually end up putting an end to SMG4 reactions for good. Then he chose to continue SMG4 reactions anyway. It's all so confusing. YouTube sucks wang. I completely agree. Okay, but the reason for posting this was due to YouTube choosing to give a community guideline strike for a video he made 2 years ago, forbidding him to upload for the next week. However, what YouTube did may be the result of his final straw, as what happened next would become what would be considered the grand finale of an era once and for all. No one saw this day coming. We never thought we'd see the day, but thus. March 31st, 2021 would mark the date of which Karl had officially wrapped up his YouTube journey as CHARMX. A devastating moment to many, especially to those who practically watched him religiously, including myself. Speaking of religious, Karl would upload part 1 of 2 of his final farewells to the internet, in which he would announce the release of his final video in which he spoke about his religion.
It has truly been an amazing journey, and you guys have made my life worth living. I wanted to thank you all for being with me. If you guys don't know, I'm a Christian. I don't talk about it in my videos, so that's what my last video will be. But for this video, I just wanted to kind of explain what has driven me to this decision. I've been dealing with a lot of community guideline strikes, and these are videos that I've done years ago, and I can't even go and review these videos that I've done because they're blocked. It's ridiculous. I've had enough. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I've achieved everything that I've wanted. I've written a book, produced apps for phones, made a video game for computers, had a channel that hit over 1 million subscribers, multiple channels over 250,000 subscribers. I've accomplished enough where I don't feel like there's a point of continuing. Now that sounds sad. But I know that my journey on YouTube as a creator ends here.
That kinda got dark for a minute there, didn't it? But a mere 2 hours after making this announcement, he would upload what would be considered the grand finale, the closure to a very long chapter in his life. Now, instead of just simply playing a minute worth of clips like I've been doing this whole project, I'd like to just show bits here and there while explaining and clarifying what he's talking about. I feel I should have been doing this a lot more sooner, but regardless, I made a lot of changes to the project since I started a year ago. But regardless, let's talk about all this. When he started off by mentioning that.
Now this part right here that you are hearing is actually an update to the original video. Basically, I had this crazy feeling that I was going to die within 2 days, so I started panicking and I made this video.
This of course referred to the time he panicked about his upcoming field trip when he was going on a plane for the first time since he was in his early teens. But he did make it clear that the reason for this upload was for simply having enough of YouTube.
The reason why it's my last video is either 1, I actually have passed away,
which didn't happen,
or 2, I've just gotten fed up with this website.
In which he did. But for a very fair reason.
I feel in a box, I can't express myself, I can't say things I want to say without being in fear of it damaging the channel, so I have honestly just I've had enough.
But now for the main reason why he made this video.
I am a Christian. It's my duty to spread the word of God. So as my last video, that's what I plan to do. Basically, all I want to ask you is, do you know where you're going when you die? Just think of consciousness. Try to understand that. It's so mind-boggling. Then think of artificial intelligence. It still hasn't reached the singularity. If you don't know what singularity is, it's when artificial intelligence becomes conscious. And there are the smartest people in the world working on artificial intelligence, and yet artificial intelligence hasn't become conscious. But humans are conscious. What, by some random act? Like, that's just crazy. Yeah, that's basically it. But I want to thank everyone who has been with me on this journey. It's been a blessing beyond all. But yeah, anyway.
Karl had also posted his final tweet on CHARMX Official, in which he simply wrote, "Thank you. Thank you all." It's so quiet. There's nothing. Just pure silence. After Karl left the public eye, he chose to remain completely anonymous from the internet. He didn't post anything, he didn't give updates regarding his whereabouts, what he's been doing, how he's been. Hell, some of us feared the possibility that he may have actually taken his own life due to his mentions of death in his last video. But as you may know, he never did. So, how was Karl really doing? Well, for the next few months he would lay in his bed in a state of depression, not knowing what he was going to do with his life. He'd listen to audiobooks to pass the time, but surely there was more to life than this. He eventually got himself a 9-to-5 job as a blue collar so that he could at least have some income now that he was no longer running his channels. The job never particularly tickled his fancy, but work's work, and if it paid, it paid. Cut back to how the fans were feeling for a moment, we didn't really know what to do. Fans had been re-uploading all of his privated videos, despite his request to forbid it.
Do not re-upload my videos. I do not want people re-uploading them.
Other fans shared some of their funny edits to remember him by. For instance, this edited clip that user Norman157 made of him about 4 years ago as of the time of the post being made. Reacting to 9/11.
Today I'm gonna be reacting to 9/11, hopefully it's gonna be funny.
But most of us were just upset about the situation, including myself. So much so I was uploading rant videos about it. But what if there was a better way to show my appreciation for the guy? Then I had an idea. This wasn't the first time I made a video quite like this, but I wanted this one to be special. We'd look back at everything Karl had practically done up until that point. For the Beanie Boy fans, I decided to work on a big project simply called The History of CHARMX. CHARMX is a Canadian YouTuber who accumulated over 1 million subscribers. This project grew far more grand than I ever could have possibly anticipated, so for that I'd just like to thank you all. And an even bigger thank you for those supporting me in this project. I do say, it's good to be back. But back to the history, it was a rough time for Karl as he was still figuring out what he wanted to do and who he wanted to be. That's when he got the perfect idea. What if, just maybe, he could be an entertainer as a musician? It was clear that for the past few years he had some interest in music but never had the time to really put his all into this idea.
I hate music!
But as he had nothing left to lose, he probably thought, why not? The 25th of January 2022 marked the beginning of Karl's brand new journey, going under his new name that he had randomly made up one day and thought it was cool, I guess. This was the birth of Fresh Cut Slim. Kind of a weird mix of words, but that was who he wanted to be. He created a new YouTube channel, he signed into his new Twitter, along with Instagram, created and designed his very own website, joined SoundCloud, which he has since abandoned, TikTok. Ew, gross! I agree, buddy. Then finally, of course, Apple Music and Spotify. Pretty wild how many new socials he made, considering we didn't think he'd ever be on half of these, but it seemed with the new journey also came new possibilities. Over the course of the year, he would work on his first ever album, consisting of 12 tracks, and be appropriately called New Kid, as he was indeed the new kid on the block. Though his album officially released the moment August Rome into frame, he actually released his tracks as early as July 16th. Now, I'll admit, I am not the biggest fan of his music, but I do kinda like it in a way. It's pretty charming, shall we say. The next morning after his debut album, he'd post his song Squeal on 4 separate subreddits in the hopes to share his music to the world. While we're on Reddit, it's fitting to mention that later at the end of this month was when the Fresh Cut Slim subreddit makes its way into the collection. You know, the collection of platforms Fresh Cut Slim related. You get the point. For Karl's 28th birthday, he would be giving us a gift with a second album, another 12-track album by the name of A Mustard Stain. You know it's a good album when this is the starting track. It would take a while, but Karl would eventually release his first EP, A Little Bit Silly. You know it's good when this is the ending track. You're a hoe and you know it. A third album would be released by the name of We Cannot Stay. Only a week later, the single Sucker For You would make its way into the discography. By the end of the month, a second single comes out, Dance On My Body. A fortnight later, not that fortnight, ew, yet another single released into the wild, Success Surrounds Me. Another fortnight, 2 weeks later, we get yet another single, I Know It Ain't Nothing. And to think all of this was happening under our noses while we were here sitting in silence, watching the abandoned channel slowly lose subscribers as it eventually dips under 1 million. But while Karl took a break from Fresh Cut Slim for a few weeks, he had a little trick up his sleeve that could undoubtedly change everything for everyone. Wait a minute! What the freak just happened? Unbranded? What does that even mean? That, ladies and gentle beanies, was the question that rippled through the entire CHARMX community, as what had just happened was a total mystery. What's even stranger is that just earlier that day, CHARMX's 2 remaining videos mysteriously disappeared off the face of the channel, completely removed by the user. We definitely knew something was up, we just had no clue as to what. Not only did the channel name and tag changed, but his profile picture, banner, and description were also wiped clean of its existence. In the following few hours, CHARMX Plays would suffer the same fate, along with CHARMX 2 and CHARMX 3. However, both these channels would keep the same name for a little while, except for the tag, which did change. His YouTube wasn't the only part to be affected by all this, as his Twitter also had its profile picture and banner completely deleted, though interestingly enough, he never changed his name nor the tag. But it was only a few days later when it got even more interesting. Now the channel's description would be updated to simply say about. About what exactly? It wouldn't be long to find out. The very next day, another small part would be added to the description, owned by. Who was this owned by? Tell us already! Okay, maybe a little aggressive, but we were all really curious as to who the mastermind behind it all was. Speaking of which, as Karl was returning to his old fans in this big mysterious fashion, he chose to remove all of his songs from the Fresh Cut Slim channel before renaming it to Fresh Cut Slim Old, as he was planning for CHARMX to become his new official channel for Fresh Cut Slim. Rest in pieces, original Fresh Cut Slim channel. May you be remembered as the one that truly started a new era. A week after that last description update, we'd received the biggest update to the description so far, as it would now read as follows. I love music, it flows through me, I produce my own music and write my own lyrics. I also animate my own music videos. My music is available on practically all streaming services. You could also purchase it on Amazon and iTunes if you wish. Copyright, psst, that's not how you spell it. All music I produce is copywritten and has YouTube Content ID. Due to legal agreement, I cannot give any permission for any remixes, as they will be subject to YouTube's copyright ID, owned by. Still leaving your identity as a total mystery, I see. Oh, we know what you're doing. Fresh Cut Slim would post its first tweet, a new beginning. Keep in mind, this was before we even knew who was behind it all. Okay, now we definitely know what you're doing. Hopefully tomorrow? He knew the world was watching closely, so he just had to tease his upcoming reveal of his identity, taking off the hood to finally show to the world who it was all along. And what do you know, the next day the channel would be given a banner displaying the exact time of which the ultimate reveal would occur. But then, when it was finally time, he would step out of the shadows and into the spotlight.
Hello, governor.
It was none other than our old friend, now officially going under his new name of Fresh Cut Slim. Now, of course, we didn't know exactly if it was him or not, but I think most of us did. I mean, come on, an old friend, friends and family that he added to the description recently, the vocals behind the music sounding exactly like him.
Go get me a happy pill, let's go get some snacks. Life moves forward, not back, thank you, Lord.
But regardless, there was still a lot of debate in the community whether it was him or not. Surely there could be some way he could confirm that he is indeed the legend himself. Huh. Well, would you look at that? This upload would finally give the community confirmation that it was indeed, in fact, the one and only.
What is up, my internet friends and family? I am Fresh Cut Slim, and this video I'm making to address, am I CHARMX? People don't know who I am. They see this channel in their subscriptions, and they're like, I didn't subscribe to this guy, what the frig? Over the last couple years, I have been working a 9-to-5 job, learned a lot about myself and who I am as a person, and I realize myself as an entertainer and an artist. I have been making music under the name Fresh Cut Slim for a year and a half. At the moment, I have 3 albums out and an EP, and I also learned how to animate videos. I've been doing animations, and I like to have fun with it. I really love animating. I know a lot of you don't like my music. It's fine. So yeah, anyway, I hope that answers everything, but anyway, I'll see you next time. Boop.
This would truly mark one of the comebacks of all time, the return of the legend. A man YouTube had missed for far too long. A man who wasn't afraid to show his creativity. A man who showed other reactors how it was done. A man who beanied the boy. A man who zucchinied the king. Don't take that out of context. The one and only Beanie Man who was finally ready to show the world what he was truly made of, once and for all.
The man who abandoned me, just like my wife.
What the? Oh, sugar honey iced tea! Cap!
That's right, it's me.
Wait. Why do you look so different?
It's been a rough few years.
Well, I call it a downgrade.
Anyway, there's a reason why I'm here.
A reason you broke into my house?
Yes.
Well, shoot. I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so, you may have been aware of my disappearance since Carl moved out his parents' basement, correct?
Well, yeah. He did put you in a box and could never find you again, right?
It got real lonely, so I escaped. I've spent these last several years searching for my wife and kids.
Did you eventually find them?
Yes.
Huh! Well, that's great!
And it seemed I found them at the perfect time.
Why?
I overheard them in an argument. The guy who my wife left with, Spider-Man, he was apparently cheating on her with Wonder Woman and was thinking of running away with their kid.
Yikes! Well, you gotta admit, she kinda deserved it.
Perhaps. But it made me a little sad as well.
You were upset that your wife got karma?
Just because my wife left me and stole the kids doesn't mean she became my arch nemesis or anything like that. I still love her, and I still miss her. And if her being with that man made her happier, then I was happy. The only thing I've ever really wanted this whole time was to find my kids so I could see them again.
That's fair enough, actually.
Yeah. So anyway, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, I've been working on this little project for the past year. It's practically about everything Carl had done throughout his life.
For the second time, I see.
Interesting how you know I've done this before, but yeah. But he came back, of course, so I thought I'd do it again, but bigger and better.
I see. By the way, may I ask one question?
Sure, what's up?
Why did you glue the Beanie Boy design on your beanie?
Oh, well, yeah, when you're working on the biggest project you've ever made, you gotta look the part, right?
So, why don't you take off the beanie?
Wait, you really want me to take off my precious beanie?
Yes.
What?
Take off the hat.
But I...
Take off the beanie.
Very well. Well, how do I look?
Gotta say, that was a bit unexpected.
Do I look good?
I think it's best you grow it back.
Yeah, you're right.
So, how much more of the project do you got left exactly?
Oh, well, I was about to go into chapter 10, actually, so the grand finale.
Sounds exciting. May I join in?
You really want to be part of this?
Of course.
Well, I couldn't be more honored. Alright then, you ready to go into chapter 10?
Ready as the day I got to see my kids again for the first time in years.
Very well, Cap. Let's finish what I started once and for all. Here we are, the final chapter of KARL'S story, at least so far. It has been an absolutely incredible journey to say the least, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. But anyway, are you ready for this grand finale?
Ready as can ever be. Show me what you got, chapter 10.
Very well. Strap in, boys, this finna be a wild ride. But now, without any further ado, let's begin. After his magnificent return, you'd hope much of his fans would resubscribe to the channel and get him back to over 1 million. But did the exact opposite instead. He'd lose a ton of subscribers due to many seeing Fresh Cut Slim in their subscriptions thinking, who the frig is that? That and or they simply didn't like this new version of him and unsubscribed that way. Either way, rather a shame he's no longer the owner of a channel, a millionaire in subs.
That's sad.
Despite Karl mentioning that he didn't wish to be on camera, it was only a week later when he did exactly that. Except he found a loophole in that he could wear a mask to continue hiding his facial identity, so that he could feel more comfortable and have a sense of privacy.
Hello. This video I wanted to make to thank everyone who has been very supportive since I started making music and releasing it on the channel. I remember a lot of people in the comments. I've seen so many people who are familiar to me, and it's been quite amazing, and I'm very grateful for that. I want to start making other content on here too, or maybe on one of my other channels. I recently changed the names of a couple of my channels. One of the names is Fresh Cut Content, which I will be using to make more videos in the future.
That's freaking crazy! Whoa!
But you know what's even crazier?
Is it the fact that I was able to see my kids again?
I mean, yeah, but also, he'd upload his first video to the Fresh Cut Content channel, which funnily enough was his attempt to making a short little YouTube poop of himself, showing the world that he was still in fact a big fan of YTPs.
Releasing PP in my eye.
The next day, he'd react to comments to his first album. But a mere few days later, he'd find a piece of what once belonged to the one and only.
What the frick is that? Wow, look at this. Look what I just found. It's like a hat or something. I could probably put this on my head or I could shove it up my... Either way, let's try it on. Wow, look at that. Fits like a glove. Looks like it was meant for me. Keeps my head warm. After all, I am bald and I am kind of a bastard.
What we all had hoped for the moment he returned came true. He'd make his first reaction video. Yeah, sure, first, definitely. Oh yeah, this is the moment when he did the half face reveal.
I recently did a little video on my other channel called Fresh Cut Content. Basically, I tried to do a little DIY where I made it so you could see my mouth easier. I look insane.
I agree.
I'll admit, it ended up looking pretty fresh. 2 days later, he'd upload the video where he'd cut his mask, with his chances of not messing it up being pretty slim. To celebrate a month after his return, he wanted to give a genuine thank you to the community and everyone who continued to support him after so many years of being silent, thinking people were gonna forget or not care about him anymore.
Yeah.
Now being over a month since he returned from the void, and there was still some questioning as to what he's been up to since he left, so he chose to explain it all in one video.
So around 3 years ago, or 2.5, after I had finished YouTube, I just sat and laid in my bed for about 3 months straight. It was a bad time and I was very down in the dumps. I eventually got a blue-collar job, which I'm actually currently still working in. I don't personally enjoy it. It's very taxing on the body. And while working on this job, I worked at coding a program to do stock market trading. I did that for around a year. It really didn't turn out the way I wanted. And after I kind of gave up because this is just stupid, I was back to being like depressed. 1 week, I came across the idea for a username, which I really liked. That happened to be Fresh Cut Slim. And I knew in my gut that just something told me I have to use this name. So I got it and I started signing up. I started with SoundCloud and then I started making music.
Then soon after, he'd answer a bunch of other curious questions regarding his reasoning as to why he came back, his inspiration for making music, and something everyone had been wondering for a very long time.
I'll tell you what happened.
But before you say anything, can you, like, morph back into the original model? Cause I'm not used to this look.
Very well.
Thanks, Cap.
Anyway, as I was gonna say, when he moved out of his parents' basement, he left me. Just like how my wife left with the kids. He clearly didn't care enough about me to bring me along.
Look, Cap, he really didn't mean to lose you. He even tried to look for you, see?
I don't know where he is. Give me a second. Let me go see if I can find him. No. I can't. No, I can't find him.
Perhaps he cares a little, but after he put me through the pain of feeling abandoned a second time in my life...
I know, but look, I'm sure he'll apologize if you two meet up again at some point, but I really gotta get back to the history and we're about to go into 2024, so if you don't mind...
Alright. Sorry for wasting time.
Nah, it's cool. This project is over 2 hours long anyway, so yeah. Anywho, back to whatever I was saying. As we end the year off, we get ourselves prepared for the grand year of 2024, as we shall make this year our own. 2024, show us what you've got. An official announcement of his fourth album, Midnight Hype, would finally be releasing as soon as January 13th.
Oh, my back!
He'd been trying to get it done by the end of last year, but that's fine. Better late than never. This announcement, as you could probably tell, was his test of his green screen so that he could use it in the possible future. And that possible future indeed came with his music video to Success Surrounds Me. Oh yeah, we're ascending with this one. But not only did Karl bring back reactions in general, no. He'd also bring back reactions to SML Movie, baby!
I've had so many requests to react to SML again. I mean, so many. Like, every day I'm looking in the comments, I see requests to react to SML. So I'm gonna react to SML again.
This truly was a CHARMX in 2024 moment.
Those sure were fun times.
Indeed, but speaking of fun, you know what the most fun he had when working on a music video was?
No.
Well, let me tell you then. Look no further than his music video to Sucker For You. He was literally dying of laughter when editing, minus the literally.
So they're playing around and I just... I'm in the scene. Holy crap, that has to be the funniest thing I think I've done in a bit.
Karl would introduce to the fans his new memberships-only content, which means the return of gaming videos.
I'm now doing channel memberships. It's not that expensive, and I have created this as a way to want to help support me. I have these little emojis I made, as well as I'll be uploading specific videos for members, and the videos will most likely be just gaming type stuff.
You know what time it is. These games include Pizza Tower, Geometry Dash, Palworld, Supermarket Simulator, Getting Over It with Bennett 40, okay then, Buckshot Roulette, a difficult game about climbing. I'm scared. No, seriously, that's a game he played, along with Hades, Broken Reality, Superliminal, Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun, Inscription, Escape the Backrooms, Morkred, Noita, Call to the Lamb, Deltarune, including Chapter 2, Minecraft, Ultra Kill, Squirrel with a Gun, and South Park The Stick of Truth.
Those sure are a lot of games.
You could say that again. I should also clarify that not all gaming videos are members only, particularly the first episodes are free to watch, but not every first episode.
This is the Bring It On GIF.
In his attempts to add more content to his membership, he thought GIFs were part of it, so he made a few of them, only to realize they were in fact not a thing. So instead he shared it to everyone for free. Ooh. To continue his use of the green screen, he would give fans some peak YouTube poop material. And it was during this period of time when this project went into full development, beginning the editing process as early as the middle of March in 2024. This means that everything we're about to get into is stuff that happened while working on the project, and I've been working on this for far too long, so there's still much to be said.
So what are we waiting for? Let's see where his story goes.
It had now been a hot minute since he released any new music, as he spent the majority of the last few months making music videos for his already made songs. On the 3rd year anniversary since his departure, aka a year ago from the release of this project, he'd give a music update announcing that there was more to come.
And I have actually started working on new music.
And on the 20th of April, his single White and Grey would hit the digital shelves. Oh yeah, this calls for a dance celebration. In case you thought everything was going great for Fresh Cut Slim, Karl would find himself needing to go for surgery sometime during this week.
I don't know when I'm uploading this video, so this may have already happened. This week I will be going for surgery, and the surgery is on an issue that I've had for around a year now. I don't want to say what it is or when it is, but I'm going to be off work now for at the minimum 3 months. So yeah, that's going to be quite a while. However, it is going to allow me to focus on making my next album, and I have another single that I'm releasing on May 4th, and recently I purchased some more packs for FL Studio, and I've purchased some VSTs, gotten to the point where I am ready to start making another album. I want that album to be a more different, I think rap/trap elements maybe, I really don't know. And as well as I am making another video game, I'm making it in Godot or Godot. It is a little bit more complicated than what I have used before when I've made games and whatnot. I will actually be telling you the name of it, and I will be actually kind of advertising it or whatever on the channel when it is done.
Character development, alas. He learnt his lesson and he was gonna promote his game this time. Whenever it was done, of course. The 27th of April 2024 would become the 10th year anniversary since Karl had started his YouTube journey as CHARMX Games.
This video might rock. Please leave a like if it does. Thank you.
Isn't it absolutely incredible how much he's changed since then? After all these years, he sure has come a long way, and we ought to be proud of him for all that he has achieved. But back to the present, the surgery would be a success, and Karl would return after about a week. He had pre-recorded videos beforehand, so there wasn't any real shift in the upload schedule, which I'll admit was a pretty good choice. Get a cup, get a cup, get a cup. As he mentioned, he'd release his single Final Destiny on the 4th of May. But on the same day, he'd release a relatively serious topic regarding the dead internet theory. He added a poll asking people to check it out as well, but little did we know, it was a little troll!
I had this idea that popped into my head this morning as I was walking. I have to walk as part of my healing process after the surgery, but I wanted to make a video talking about the dead internet theory. Like, the whole video's serious, there's nothing funny about this video. And I had an idea at the very end of the video to post a poll. So here's the poll. What's better, pooping or farting? I don't know, but I thought that's such a funny little troll.
Oh, Karl. Never change, buddy. Never change. This is a... No. Now, just to clarify, he didn't, thank frig, but if he did, I would have quit this project long ago. Anyway, Karl would like to utilize his Fresh Cut Slim subreddit for making Try Not to Laugh challenges.
Basically, I want to start doing Try Not to Laugh challenges again. I would like you guys to send me clips on my Reddit every couple weeks. I would like to go onto the subreddit to do a reaction to those clips.
Then what would happen next would be another update regarding his music, where he mentions his next album would consist of a grand total of 14 tracks, the most of which he's done for an album thus far. Then, of course, in typical Karl Keaton fashion, he'd make us all begin to slightly question his sanity in the best possible way imaginable.
So today I want to be doing a mukbang, but I'm just banging muck. Let's start banging. Oh yeah. You like that? Well, that's what I call a mukbang.
Okay, that isn't actually what happened, but regardless, it was still a little weird. Just a tad. Guess you could say that was quite the workout. Speaking of which, oh yeah, keeping the content interesting. Man, I haven't been on here in a hot minute. It's almost as if I haven't tweeted since the first time I did. This does mean he'd begin consistently tweeting again, which is definitely great for keeping up with this latest stuff. Or even wacky stuff like him using his green screen for doing a sort of parody skit.
Wanna get scammed? You wanna get scammed, bud? This is for top G's only, and G means gamer.
You know what else G stand for?
No.
Gregory.
Who?
One of my kids which my wife stole from me.
Forgive me for asking, but do you always have to mention how your wife stole the kids?
Yes.
Does that not upset you, though? Constantly reminding yourself of what happened instead of trying to move on?
I guess.
'Cause look, man, I may not be the best at advice or anything like that, but I think it's best you move on from the past, you know?
You're right.
So what do you say we change the subject and move on, you know? Continue the story of Karl Keaton?
Alright then, let's just continue already.
Karl had attempted time and time again to branch out his content beyond just YouTube poop reactions on fresh cut content, but it seemed every time he tried, it would perform underwhelmingly poor. When he reacted to the Cody Ko situation, it performed so badly he deleted the video after only a few hours. However, only a mere 2 hours after he'd uploaded the rant about the whole situation, he'd re-upload the reaction once more and hasn't removed it since.
Nice.
His announcement for 2024 would be the release dates of his upcoming singles, as it leads up to the release of his next album, which again, 14 tracks, so it's gonna be a beefy boy. He had also mentioned that due to the amount of tracks that he would not make a music video on every single one of them like he's been doing beforehand.
It's so much more work and it takes away time or effort that I could be putting into making more music or do other stuff on the side that I'm working on.
Also, after the release of each single, he'd react to people's reactions to those songs. Reactception!
YouTube, shut up. Shut up, for sakes.
Video in like...
Unbelievable.
What I've also skipped over is that he would need to go back to surgery for a second time within the next few months, possibly October, meaning he may need to quit his blue-collar job as it seemed he wouldn't be able to go back for a long time.
He really left his job.
We know, just like how your wife left with the kids, right?
Actually, I wasn't gonna say anything beyond that.
Wait, seriously?
No point in dwelling about the past, am I right?
Cap, I hate to break it to you, but I think you just experienced the first sign of character development.
So I have.
Alright, well this got exciting. Now when you take a quick glance at this title, you'd probably be a little concerned at first, but fear not, as it's actually a motivational video, disguised as a rant video, in a way. This followed up with 29,200.
I was watching a guy who took a picture of himself every day from 20 to 45. It's a heck of a lot of dedication, I'll say that. But I got kind of wondering, how many pictures would that be? 7,300. And then I thought, oh, that's not that many. So then I thought 80, the average lifespan, and times that by the amount of days. 29,200. And that kind of hit me like, that's it. There's a limited amount of days. What are you doing? Are you making use of the time that you have?
Bro, do be becoming fresh cut philosophical. But for real, it is a very meaningful message, and I do believe everyone should hear this at least once in their life. He announced he was officially going back to surgery sometime during this week of September.
I'm going for surgery again. I do not know when this video will be uploaded, whether it's before or after the surgery, but I'm having surgery again soon, and hopefully it goes over well.
Spoiler alert, it did. Oh, and he gave an update regarding his music as well.
After the surgery, I plan to start working on my next album. I don't think I'm gonna get it out this year. If I do, it'll be sometime probably in December. And I plan to push myself even further with creativity. So yeah, I guess there is a positive to the surgery.
Karl would surprise the world with the introduction to his new friend.
I've got a little special video, and that is that I'm going to be introducing you to someone that you've not seen before. They'll be making appearances here and there on the channel just to spice things up, so let's bring them in. Say hello.
Hey boys!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grandpa Jenkins. You got any fun stories for us, Grandpa?
I woke up with my ball stuck to my leg this morning. I thought it was like a tumor or something.
It almost felt like he replaced me during this moment.
Just to be clear, he didn't, but I can understand why you'd feel that way.
Yeah.
But to take your mind off that, let's take a look at the return of something incredible. During his reaction to SML movie The Talent Show, we'd be welcomed by a familiar face. Minus the face.
I got another Kermit the Frog's dick right here.
Bet you weren't expecting that. It seemed that the Zucchini King has risen yet again! Oh yeah! For Halloween, he decided to get a new mask, but he would only use it once as he was not a fan of it. But a week later, he'd introduce yet another new mask that would become reoccurring in later uploads. Karl didn't just dodge a bullet, he dodged a frickin' missile, with mini nukes attached to it, as he may have almost just made the single worst mistake of his life. As he said, career ending. Don't believe me? Just watch.
For my last album that I made, I had released some singles. For one of the singles, I was trying to make cover art, and I had this idea. I thought it was gonna look kind of cool. I didn't go through with publishing it. I ended up going with something else, and I'm so glad that I did, because I could have really screwed myself over. I just found this out now. I was browsing Reddit, and I came across this crappy tattoo, and I saw the symbol, and you know, I was kind of interested. So I decided to read the Reddit post, and this is what it says. Got this tattoo when I was under the influence. I realized this is a Nazi symbol. Okay, and then here's the album art.
Now you believe me? Yeah, that could have ended disastrous. Soon we will approach the end of the entire history. I can't wait to see how this will end. What about you, Cap? How do you feel now that the end is nigh?
I had a lot of time to think since diving into this chapter.
Oh yeah?
I've grown to this new version of Karl quite a bit. I'm proud of how far he's come. He seems much happier too mentally.
I know, right?
Almost more proud of seeing Karl grow up than my own kids.
Sure, buddy, sure. But with that being said, let's end off 2024.
Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
Now for over a year, Karl had been uploading music on Fresh Cut Slim and reactions on Fresh Cut content. But remember, he had 4 channels. Karl would use one of those to create what is now called Fresh Cut Shorts, originally called Fresh Cut Clips, and before that Fresh Cut Slim 2, which before that was CHARMX 2, and then ended up posting his first video to the channel.
This video is the first on my channel, which I am calling Fresh Cut Shorts. And this channel will be for shorts, as well as some ranting videos here and there. I don't know, I kind of want to get this channel active. I had it sitting there and I thought, you know, let's just do it. So I'm filming this video as kind of an introduction. I hope you guys stick around for the content.
Before we end off the year, it only made sense to review all that 2024 had to offer and to answer the question, did we make 2024 our year?
I figure since Spotify, Reddit, all these sites are doing a year-end video where it's kind of like summarizes your year, that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to be summarizing my 2024.
Well, it turns out it ended up not being that bad of a year. He went to surgery twice, which did sadly mean he lost his blue-collar job, but at least for the most part he's recovered since. He released 2 albums this year, which he believes should be the most you should ever do in any given year, otherwise you're just flooding the market with music, all of which I agree. A close family member who was diagnosed with cancer in 2023 recently went into remission. He'd been performing meditation since not long before he came back, and mentioned how wonderful of an experience it's been. So yeah, overall, good year.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Merry Christmas. I wanted to make a quick little video because I am a little bit late this year for Christmas. Yeah, I even showed him these and it didn't work.
My god, the Zucchini King, he's back. This is it. We made it to 2025. Cap, me boy. Are you ready to witness the final conclusion to Karl's story? For now, at least.
More than ready. Let's.
Cap, what is going on?
I don't know.
What is up, my friends, family?
Is that?
Headless CHARMX.
You thought you got away.
You suck. Who's your daddy? Well, that just happened. Cap, are you alright?
That sure was something to say the least.
Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, as I was gonna say earlier, you wanna finish Karl's story for good?
Just like that day when I got to see my kids being brought to the world for the first time, me knowing I was gonna follow the role as a father. I knew I was born to be ready. He may have abandoned me, but he's still my brother, and I only wish him the best. Let's celebrate how far he's come as we reach the conclusion to Karl's story.
Alright, seems as eager as me to get into it. Very well, let's do it. As we celebrate 2025, we discuss New Year's resolutions.
My goals for 2025. My goal is to have 2 albums this year. I already have 1 album basically finished. I've been working on it for the last 4 months. It should be out near the end of February. And then I think I'm gonna release another album near the end of this year, but I'm not 100% sure. And I need a new computer, so that's another goal. As well as I want to get new headphones. Another goal is to find a job. I was working a blue-collar 9-to-5 type of job, but even if I'm making enough money on music to sustain myself, I'm bored. I've been starting to work out now. My recovery is good enough where I can work out. I am planning, or I want to buy a house, but who knows how that's gonna go over. If I really wanted to buy a house, I don't even think the banks would loan me any money because I don't have a job. And I think that's kind of it for this year.
You only ever experience right now. John, get in here. He did it once, he did it twice, and now the 3rd time's the charm. X.
This is gonna be brutal.
No,
Oh, I got sick. I actually threw up. Holy crap.
The first single of this year dropped before the end of January, and I'm not gonna lie, this may be my favourite of his work so far. This, of course, followed up with the 2nd single on the 1st day of February. Karl would upload to Fresh Cut Shorts asking for a Q&A, and I just so happened to respond with my own question in his comments section, resulting in him becoming fully aware of my History of Fresh Cut Slim project.
How do you feel about me making a 2-hour documentary about me? Did you do that? And would you ever consider reacting and or commenting on said video after it premieres? I could comment on it, sure. 2 hours is crazy. What is there to say about me that requires 2 hours of time?
Well, I guess you finally know the answer to that question. But also, what an exciting time that was, I'll tell you that! We get it! You were excited! You were noticed! Woo! Where have you been this whole time? You kept yapping, so I got bored and left. Well, how dare you? I dare! You sarcastic bastard. I heard that! Buddy, I'm about to finish the history, can you please?
Fine, I guess I'll go now.
If he shows up one more time, I swear. Anyway, back to the history. His 3rd single was released a week before the album Colors of Chaos had officially became one with the discography. And of course, as of the release of this project, this is his latest work in the music industry so far. On the same day, he discussed yet another meaningful topic regarding taking a step back to enjoy time for yourself and live more of life at a slower pace. He talked about updates regarding his channel and a bit of his life. The stuff he mentioned is that he won't be making a new album unless he gets a new computer, he wants to progress his music forward to get better at making new tracks, which just makes sense, and because people enjoy some of his content but not others, he will continue making more of this and less of that. Then, finally,
the grand finale.
This is it, the end of the road. At least so far, but I think we already know that by now. It wasn't that long ago when Karl had addressed a YouTube comment on a video of his recently that may have slightly grinded a gear within him to the very core. This does of course involve the controversial topic regarding wanting Karl to go back to his old ways as CHARMX, along with quite negative stuff too, and this is what he had to say.
This is just a little bit of a rant. I saw his comment yesterday and it bothered me, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. The comment was saying, I miss the old Fresh Cut Slim, but they didn't say Fresh Cut Slim, if you know what I mean. And they're saying that I was full of myself. And I don't know why you'd think that, but it's bothered me since I saw that comment. I hope people wouldn't think that I'm full of myself. When I make jokes, I also try to be mindful of other people's limitations, right? I try to make jokes and be creative, and it seems like that bothers people. How dare you be creative? Why don't you just sit there and smile like a good little boy? That's not who I am. Or do you talking about the fact that I'm just more happy? Because I'm definitely happier now than in my past. I dealt with crazy amounts of depression and stuff like that. I may or may not have self at points. I was doing that for a long time, and you want that person back? That sad, depressed, you want that back? No, I'm not doing that. We gotta move forward in life. If you don't like the content that I'm really making now, just unsubscribe.
It was clear that Karl didn't want to return to a time when he was lost. Whenever he sees himself as CHARMX, he sees a depressed man who couldn't find his own way. But Karl was now content and happy with the path he chose, and we should be nothing but supportive of him, following his dreams and achieving his goals, even if this isn't exactly how we'd imagine he'd do it. We should also be thankful he even returned in the first place, along with continuing to make reactions, gaming, and other new exciting content. The path that lies ahead may go in directions you won't expect, but at the end of the day, you can't follow a path to new discoveries if all you're doing is walking backwards. You like that quote? Because I made it myself.
Not that bad of a quote, actually.
Why, thank you, kind sir. From a teenager living in his parents' basement to claiming the status of a YouTube reaction legend to achieving his role as a musician, this was truly one of the YouTube journeys of all time. The story of a man named Karl Keaton. Welcome to the present day. How's Karl been doing as of late? Well, he's awaiting his new PC upgrade so that he can start work on his next album, he's currently reacting to SML, Try Not to Laugh challenges, and more on Fresh Cut content, along with members-only gaming videos. Fresh Cut Shorts is getting new uploads at a consistent pace. Quite frankly, he's been doing better than ever. As for the future, what can we expect? Let's see. Is Karl still working on that video game on Godot? Well, unfortunately, he did quit the project at some point due to the math getting too complicated, which overwhelmed him and lost motivation to continue forward. Perhaps one day he could continue the project or start a new game project that will eventually reach completion, but I guess only time will tell. Will he eventually use his final unused channel that was initially CHARMX Plays? I'm almost confident in saying that he definitely will at some point, if he thinks for a good use for it, that is. Will his 1 million subscriber status ever be reclaimed on Fresh Cut Slim? I'd say unlikely anytime soon, but I do have a feeling if one of his tracks takes off, or by any chance a bigger creator talks about him, it could happen. Would he do anything if it does happen though? Likely not anything too special, like a face reveal, but I do think there's a possibility he'll make a short little video about it on the channel. And one last thing. Beardless CHARMX at 2 million subscribers like he hinted at back in 2020 after hitting 1 million subscribers? Yeah, nope. You never know though. Beardless Fresh Cut Slim perhaps?
I also have one final question about the future.
Sure man, ask away.
Will Karl ever want to find me so that we could hang out again like we used to back in the good old days?
I don't doubt it for a second, Cap. You both have a lot of catch up to do. My suggestion? Go out there and catch up. What do you say?
Very well, then in that case, I may have to go soon. It was fun hanging out during this project, Slicky. By the way, thank you for helping me too.
Anytime, bud. Anyway, now, back to it. The future is full of endless possibilities, so anything could happen. His story has yet to meet its final destination, but the journey will remain exciting for the years to come. And if that day comes when we do eventually see the end of the road, we will definitely be seeing you all when we get there. I've had quite a lot of fun diving back throughout the years the second time round, seeing him go from just a boy with a beanie to the Beanie Boy, before of course becoming the masked boy with a beanie. Now I am fully aware there are some topics I never really touched on, for example his verification checkmark status, his profile picture updates, or even his merch. Oh wow, even after talking about this guy for over 2 hours you still couldn't say everything about him. Like come on, seriously? Didn't you say you were gonna talk about everything Karl has done? Editor, give me the gun! I call that false advertising. Wait,
Well, that escalated fast. Anyway, I am gonna go find Karl now. Good luck on your project.
Appreciate it, man. Oh, and don't forget to tell Karl about how you got to see your kids again.
Couldn't forget it for a second. Just like how I forgot about my wife running away with the kids. Farewell, Slicky.
Alright, well I guess it's my turn to say farewell. But first, a special thanks to those who've helped out a small bit with this project, especially the Reddit user Norman157 who was just absolutely killing it with the research. There were some details that I would have missed entirely if it weren't for his contribution to the project, so a definite shout out to you, mate. Also, I do apologise for this project taking over a friggin' year to complete, my goodness. That's too long of a time for my liking. But regardless, I'll try to leave as many links in the description so that you can go check out some stuff for yourself. To those who don't know Fresh Kid Slim or even his older persona as CHARMX and simply watch this video out of curiosity, make sure you do go check out Fresh Kid Slim, content, and or shorts if you haven't already so that you can join the family today. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop!